Hey guys, welcome to Greenbean Fiction. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Deku became the son of Ainz Ooal? Part 1. This story is Overlord Family by Cap Lycanrock 24. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button, as your one like motivates me to bring more stories, and subscribe the channel if you are new so you won't miss our latest videos. In a forest was what appeared to be a kind of dungeon buried a few meters underground. Everything inside was frozen, including the people inside. What appeared to be a throne room contained several frozen figures kneeling before. The ice, both on the people and the place, began to crack until everything broke. Has it worn off? He saw the other people stretching. It seems the hibernation spell worked. Question mark, question mark, question mark. 1. And successfully, Lord Ainz, said a woman with black hair and a white dress. Ainz. Albedo, who saw her, begins an inspection. Make sure that nothing and no one is missing from the tomb of Nazarick. Albedo. Nodded. Understood, Mr. Ainz. He left. Ainz. Sebas saw a man in a suit. Sebas. At your service, Mr. Ainz. Ainz. Check the area and structure of the tomb. Something may have broken over the years. Sebas. Received, sir. He left. Ainz. Aura. Mare. He saw some children. Aura and Mare. Tell us, Lord Ainz. Ainz. Also check the area. He saw them. Check if there are any nearby towns, kingdoms, or cities. Both. Understood. They left. Meanwhile, in the forest, a young, green-haired woman was walking angrily with a basket. Inside the basket was a small baby, apparently 2 months old, crying. Shut up already. She puts the basket on the ground. Hazashi abandoned me because of you. Angrily, you've only brought me misfortune since you were born. She saw the crying baby. You're lucky I still have some kindness left and will let you live. I took out a document that stated the date of birth and who the parents were. This won't do you any good. I cut the document that stated who the parents were and the child's last name, leaving the rest in the basket. The woman only saw the baby before leaving. The baby just cried non-stop. Luckily for her, Aura and Mare arrived upon hearing her cries and approached her. Aura. A baby. She saw the baby. Mare. What will he do here all alone? She saw her sister. Aura. I don't know. I pick up the baby. I've never seen a human baby up close before. I check the baby. Mare. Saw the paper. There's something here. She took it and read it. It seems his name is Izuku. It doesn't say who his parents are, only his date of birth. Aura. Would they abandon him? She saw her brother. Mare. Poor thing. What will we do with him? Aura. I don't know. Should we take it to Lord Ainz? Maybe he'll know what to do with it. Mare. Okay. They put Izuku in the basket and returned to Nazarick's grave a few minutes later. Albedo. No one is missing from the tomb, Lord Ainz, nor does it appear that anything has been stolen. Sebas. It seems Nazarick is a few meters underground, but there isn't any serious damage to the structure, Mr. Ainz. Ainz. I see, that's good to know. Haven't Aura and Mare returned yet? But just then Aura and Mare entered. Aura. Sorry for the delay, Lord Ainz. She approached him. We found something and didn't know what to do. Ainz. Anything. Mare approached him and handed him the basket. What's this? He saw Izuku, a baby. Asterisk. Aura. We found him in the forest. She saw Ainz. It seems he was abandoned. Mare. We didn't know what to do with him, so we brought him to you. She saw him. Maybe you know what to do with that baby. Ainz. Saw the baby. I don't usually feel anything in these kinds of situations, but kill him knowing he was abandoned. I don't think I can do that. He brought his finger close to Izuku, who took it in his little hand. He looked at him. Albedo. Mr. Ainz. She looked at him curiously. Ainz. Sebas looks at the mentioned one. Take the baby. Sees Aura and Mare. Does it have a name? Mare. According to this paper, his name is Izuku. I hand her the paper. Ainz. Good. Take Izuku to Pestany and make sure he's healthy and well fed. Sebas. Yes, Sir Ainz. He took Izuku and left. Albedo. Lord Ainz, why did you help that baby? Ainz. The baby will stay here in Nazarick. Aura. Really? Ainz nodded. Albedo. It's not that I wanted to go against your decisions, Lord Ainz, but why? He's just a weak human. Ainz. I must admit that I don't know either, but I felt something in that child that led me to that decision. He looked at Albedo, Aura, and Mare. That child, no, Izuku, could be the next ruler of Nazarick. The three of them just opened their eyes and mouths in shock. A new member, no, a new ruler grows in the great tomb of Nazarick. A few days had passed since Izuku had been at the tomb in Nazarick. Albedo headed towards the room where Izuku was. Albedo enters where she saw Pestonia sitting feeding Izuku. Pestonia shortcake Wonko, head maid, Ray, heteromorphic homunculus. Pestonia, hello Miss Albedo. She stood up and gave a small bow. How can I help you? She placed Izuku in the crib they bought. Albedo, Mr. Ainz wants to know the baby's condition. Pestonia, she's doing much better now. She's eaten a lot and her condition has improved. She's out of danger. Wow. Albedo, I see. She approached the crib and saw Izuku. Lord Ainz believes he can be the ruler of Nazarick. Does that mean he sees him as his son? Asterisk. Albedo touches Izuku. Then, I should have a mother. Izuku takes her finger. He looks at it. Izuku just smiled. Albedo, ah, he felt an arrow in his chest. Pestonia, it's cute, isn't it? Albedo, ah, why yes. Steps aside. I'll go and inform Lord Ainz about his condition. Keep an eye on him. Pestonia, understood. Wow. Albedo left the room and began to walk. Albedo knelt down and clutched her chest. He's so cute. I must be his mother at all costs, she said resolutely. A few minutes later in Ainz's office. He was reviewing some documents and reports. Ainz, so we're in Japan, but not the one I know. According to Aura and Mare, humans have awakened something called quirks. Powers that 80% of the population possesses, while the other 20% do not. He saw Albedo enter. Albedo, with your permission, Mr. Ainz. Ainz, what's happening? Albedo, Albedo, I've come to inform you about Izuku's condition. She saw him. He's out of danger and well fed. Ainz, that's good to know. Albedo, and, if you see him as a son, I could be his mother, she said very close to Ainz. Ainz, Izuku, 1 year old. Pestonia, Mr. Izuku, looking for him. Where did you go? You're very slippery. Continued searching for him. With Izuku, he was crawling until he bumped into Yuri Alpha, Raza, Dullahan, older sister of the combat servants Pleiades. Yuri, Mr. Izuku, what are you doing here? Picks him up. Pestonia must be looking for you, said as she started looking for Pestonia. Izuku grabs Yuri's cheeks. Bah. Yuri, I'm Yuri Alpha. He saw it. Izuku, Riala. Yuri, that was close. He smiled slightly. As they walked, they encountered other members of the Pleiades. Lupus Regina Beta, race, werewolf, CZ 2128 Delta, breed, heteromorphic automatic, trap specialist in Nazarick. Lupus Regina, hello Yuri. She saw her. Oh, you brought the young master with you. Sad face. Voa Izuku. Yuri, she escaped from Pestonia again. I'm looking for her right now. Have you seen her? Lupus Regina, no, but perhaps she went to the kitchen and the dining room to look for the young master. Yuri, I see. Izuku notices CZ's gaze on him. Barks his head. CZ, I want to hug him. She extended her arms to Izuku but Yuri stopped her. Yuri, I know you like cute things. He looked at it but you could crush it if you're not careful. CZ, just a quick hug, she said neutrally, extending her arms. Yuri, size okay, but be careful, she said, handing the hand to Izuku. CZ, it's very soft. Hugs Izuku. Izuku, okay. Lupus Regina, feeling a little jealous. My turn. She took it off. How soft. I could eat it. She nibbled Izuku's cheek, making him laugh. Yuri, okay, I take them off. I have to find Pestonia now. Started walking. Both of them. Just a little longer. Watching her leave. Izuku, 2 years old. Izuku was sitting on Ainz's lap while he watched him talk to Demiurge, race, demon, guardian of the 7th floor of Nazarick. Demiurge, from what I could find out, there's a heroes section that also includes the top 10 heroes in Japan. Ainz, top 10, curious. Demiurge. They seem to be the strongest heroes in Japan, I comment, although it seems they are only human. It seems the other races we knew became extinct. Ainz. I see, even though they're human, they have those quirks, so don't underestimate them. He saw it, good work, Demiurge. Keep investigating those heroes. Demiurge. Yes, Lord Ainz. He bowed. By the way, I brought this for young Izuku. He pulled out a small red suit. Ainz. I never thought I'd see him act like that. Later, Izuku was in the throne room, where he sat down with some difficulty in this. He stayed there for a few minutes until he saw someone approaching him. Shultir Bloodfallen. Race. Royal Vampire. Guardian of the first, second, and third floors of Nazarick. Shultir. I thought Lord Ainz would be here. He saw Izuku. He's a bit old for you, young sir. Izuku. Yo, Shultir. From what I hear, he's learning to speak. An idea occurs to her. Now then, young man, can you say, Mama? Izuku sad face. Leve, Ma. Shultir. Mom saw it. Izuku. But smiles. Shultir. Well done, smiled. Now say, Mama Shultir. Izuku. I have, shall. Shultir. Felt an arrow in her chest. This is the best day of my life. Knelt down. Izuku looked at her confused but just smiled. Izuku, 4 years old. Izuku was walking around Nazarick's tomb looking for something to do. Izuku. I'm so bored. Walking. Will I ever be able to leave Nazarick? No, the others always catch me. Puffs out his cheeks. I reached the fourth of the Pleiades where I saw Narberal Ganma, Raza. Doppelganger. Member of the Pleiades. Izuku. Nabe. He saw her. Narberal. Mr. Izuku, what can I do for you? Izuku. I want to leave Nazarick, he said, leaving Narberal to think. Narberal. I'm afraid I can't help with that. We don't have Lord Ainz's permission. He saw him. Izuku. But I'm bored. Narberal. Thinking, do you want to go see Miss Aura's animals? Izuku. Does Aura have animals? With glowing eyes. Narberal. Noted. Must be on the 6th floor feeding the. Izuku. Then let's go. He took her hand, surprising her. On the 6th floor of Nazarick. Aura was feeding her pets. Izuku. Aura. I call her where she saw him. Aura. Mr. Izuku. She smiled. Aura beautiful flower. Race. Dark elf. Guardian of the 6th floor of Nazarick alongside her brother Mare. Aura. What are you doing here? She saw Izuku. Narberal. The young gentleman is bored, so I brought him here with you. Izuku. I want to see your pets, can I? He looked at her with tender eyes. Aura. Of course, smiling. These are my pets. Izuku. Wow, impressed. Oh. He saw the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Aura. She's eerie. She saw Izuku. Do you want to ride her? Izuku. Can I ask. Aura. Of course. She saw Eerie. Come here, Eerie. She crouched down. Take her for a short walk. Be careful. Izuku climbed onto Eerie, where she began to walk. Narberal. He seems to be having fun, she said neutrally, looking at Izuku. I've seen him looking bored lately. Aura. Yes, oh, now that I think about it. I've seen several humans his age go to a place called kindergarten. It seems to be a school. She thought for a moment, should we tell Lord Ainz to enroll him in that school? Narberal. Send the young gentleman there. With all due respect, Miss Aura, but that sounds like nonsense. Aura. I know, I don't like the idea either, but he's still a kid. She saw Izuku, at least he wouldn't get so bored. She saw her brother arrive. Where were you, Mare? Beautiful flower. See. Race. Dark elf. Guardian of the 6th floor along with his sister Aura. Mare. I went to get something to eat. She saw them. What were you talking about? An explanation later. Mare. I suppose if Lord Ainz allows it, that would be fine. She said shyly. Aura. So when he turns 5, we'll tell Lord Ainz. Now that I think about it, what could we give him? She paused, thinking. Narberal. He said he wanted to leave Nazarick. Izuku. 5 years old. This is my gift, Mr. Izuku. Cocytus. Race. Vermin Lord. Guardian of the 5th floor of Nazarick. Izuku. Unwrapped the gift, pulling out a sword. Ooh. Cocytus. I'm glad you like it, young sir. He saw it, but remember not to use it until you're older. Izuku. Yes, nodded. Thanks, Uncle Cocytus. Cocytus. Is very happy. Ainz. Well, then all that's left is my gift. Outside Nazarick. Izuku. What are we doing outside? He saw Ainz. Ainz. We're here for your gift. He hears footsteps approaching until he sees Hujinmal. Race. Frost Dragon. Ainz and Aura's pet. Hujinmal. I am here to serve you, Lord Ainz Ooal. Ainz. Saw Izuku. You said you wanted to get away from Nazarick, so Hujinmal will give you a tour of the nearby city. Izuku. Really? Ainz nodded. Thank you. He hugged him. Ainz. Hey, I stroke his head. There's another surprise too, but I'll tell you about it when you get back. Izuku. Yes, he said as he approached Hujinmal, who crouched down so he could climb up. Ainz. Aura. He saw the aforementioned. You will act as a bodyguard. Aura. Yes, Lord Ainz, she said as she jumped and climbed onto Hujinmal. Ainz. I'll cast a perception spell on you to prevent anyone from seeing you. He said as he cast the spell. It might not be necessary, but be careful. The three. Yes. With that said, Hujinmal takes flight. Izuku and Aura were on a Hujinmal flying above the city. The small, green-haired boy gazed in wonder at the entire city. There were things he had never seen in Nazarick before. Izuku. Noticing a small park. What's that? He asked Aura. Aura. Sees the park and the games. It seems to be some kind of games for human children. Izuku. Can we go? With curiosity and enthusiasm. Aura. I'm sorry, young master, Lord Ainz said we'll take a quick walk. Izuku. OWW, heart a sad face. Aura looked at him and couldn't help but feel a little sorry for him. Aura. Okay, fine, but it'll just be a quick look, young man. Izuku. Yes, he said happily. Aura. Hujinmal, land in that alley. I point to the alley. Hujinmal. Understood. When they landed, Aura removed the perception spell from her and Izuku. Aura. All right, I'll take the young master to that park. She saw Hujinmal. You wait here, even though humans can't see you, for safety reasons don't attract attention. Hujinmal. Understood, assented. Aura and Izuku went to the park where upon arriving he got excited and started to play. Aura. It would only be a glance, young man. Watching Izuku play. Although Izuku didn't listen and continued playing. Aura. Sighs. Well, he's still a child, I can't blame him for trying new things. She glanced at a nearby clock. I'll let him play for about 15 minutes and then we'll go. She said, walking to a bench and sitting down. For a few minutes Izuku continued playing until he stopped when he saw a brown-haired girl on a swing with a sad look. He approached her out of curiosity. Izuku. Are you okay? He saw the girl. Girl. Huh. She saw Izuku. Yes, I'm fine. She smiled slightly. Izuku. Well, it doesn't seem like it. Looking at her, you seem sad. Girl. Well, yes, but it's a personal matter. She saw him. I can't tell you. Izuku. Well, smiled. By the way, my name is Izuku. Girl. I'm Ochako Uraraka. She saw him. What's your last name? Izuku. Last name. Well, people always call me, sir, or things like that, he thought. Ochako. Young man. Curious, are your parents important people or something? Izuku. I think so. They always call dad, sir, so I guess so. Smiles. Ochako. Wow, Izuku. Do you want to play? He looked at her with a smile. Ochako. Smiled, yes. They spent their time playing together until Aura approached them. Aura. Mr. Izuku, we must go now. Izuku. Ah, okay. He stood up and dusted himself off. I'm leaving now. He looked at Ochako. Ochako. Oh, okay. See you later. Smiles. Aura. Seems to have made a new friend. Saw Izuku and Ochako. Hehe. Back to Nazarick. The three of them were about to arrive in Nazarick when they saw Sebas and Pestonia walking towards Nazarick. Izuku. Sebas, Pestonia. I call them where they saw him. Hujinmal landed in front of them. Aura. What are you doing here? Hujinmal jumps with Izuku in his arms and then puts him down. Pestonia. I wanted to know about some new recipes to prepare for young Mr. Wow. Pulls out a recipe book. Izuku. Ooh. He approached Pastonia. What meals are you going to make? Pastonia showed him some recipes. Sebas. I went as a precaution, showed a bag, plus I wanted to buy something for Tuer. Aura. I see. With that said, everyone returned to Nazarick. Pastonia. What kind of food interests you, young Master Izuku? He said while Izuku was looking through the book. Izuku. This points to the image Katsu Don. Pastonia. Then I'll prepare it. Wow. Izuku. Yes. Inside Nazarick. Ainz. Bien. Izuku te I'll tell you my next gift. Izuku saw it. You'll go to kindergarten. Izuku. Kindergarten. Confused. What's that? Ainz. It's a place where you'll learn many things. He saw it as well as meet many people. Izuku. A little nervous. Ainz. Don't be nervous. Lupus Regina will be watching you the whole time during your classes. He saw her. Since there are villains now, it's very likely that some will attack the children. Lupus Regina. Don't worry, Lord Ainz, no one will harm the young master in my presence. Ainz. All right. He saw Izuku. What do you say? Do you want to go? Izuku. Okay. Smiles. Ainz. That's the spirit. A few days later, Ainz and the Guardians prepared things so that Izuku could enter the kindergarten. Now Izuku, along with Pastonia, the Pleiades, and some homunculus maids, were preparing Izuku for his first day. Pastonia. And with that we finish, she said, looking at Izuku in his uniform. How cute he is, wow. Izuku. Put on his little hat, hee. Pastonia. Fifth, I call the maid. Is the young master's lunch and his backpack ready? Fifth. One of the 41 maids, homunculi. Fifth. Everything's ready, Miss Pastonia. She showed the backpack and gave it to Izuku. Pastonia. Very well. What about Miss Yuri Alpha? He should have finished changing by now. Solution Epsilon. Race. Predator Slime. Member of the Pleiades. I don't understand why Yuri had to change. Intoma Vasilis Zeta. Race. Arachnid. Member of the Pleiades. Yuri entered the room. Yuri. Lord Ainz said my outfit might attract too much attention. He doesn't want anyone to suspect us. Solution. I admit it's weird seeing you like this, Yuri, she said while looking at her. Yuri. Sighs. All right, it's time to go, young man. I take Izuku's hand. Remember to call me Mom when we're there. Izuku. Yes, nodded. Intoma. Good luck, young man. Pastonia. Listen to your teachers. Wow. Maids. Good luck, young man. Izuku. Goodbye. He said goodbye and left with Yuri. In kindergarten. Yuri. We're here, she said as she approached the teacher with Izuku. Teacher. Good morning. She saw Yuri. You must be Mrs. Gown. She saw Izuku. And you must be Izuku. Izuku. Hello, he said shyly. Teacher. You're just in time, we're about to start class. Yuri. Okay, she crouched down to Izuku's level. I'll be back later, honey. Izuku. Yes, you mom. Yuri. That sounds so nice. No. You have to stick to the plan, Yuri. See you later. She kissed him on the forehead. Lupus Regina will be watching him the whole time. She whispered, and Izuku nodded. Now go to class, sweetheart. With that said, the teacher took Izuku to the classroom. The hours passed until recess time. Izuku wanted to eat alone, so he went to a corner of the garden and took out his lunch. Izuku. Thank you for the food. He started eating. Izuku noticed that no one was looking at him. Do you want some, Lupus Regina? Lupus Regina. Thank you, young man. She took a little and ate. This is delicious. She saw the other children playing. Don't you want to play with the other children? Izuku. Eating. To be honest, no, I'm not that interested in making friends. Lupus Regina. Oh, and what about that little girl he played with in the park? Izuku. How do you know about her? Lupus Regina. Miss Aura told us, hee. Izuku. I guess, she could be my friend. He looked at his food. She's cute. Lupus Regina. Fufufu. It seems the young master has fallen in love. Classes have ended. Now Izuku, Lupus Regina, and Yuri were on their way to Nazarick. Yuri. How was your first day? She saw Izuku. Izuku. Well, I learned a lot. Yuri. That's good to know. She smiled slightly. Lupus Regina. Now that I think about it, what will the young master's quirk be? Yuri. Quirk. She saw it. Lupus Regina. Those special abilities that humans have. She saw Yuri and then Izuku. He could awaken one too, right? Izuku. Thinking about it. Knowing and caring for the heir. Days after finding Izuku, Pastonia was sitting, cradling Izuku. Pastonia. What a cute child, wow. Then I heard several footsteps as the door fell and the Pleiades came out, falling to the ground. Pasto. Lupus Regina. Pastonia. Let us see that human baby. Standing up. Pastonia. I was just putting him to sleep. Intoma. Just a quick glance. Pastonia. Agreed. The Pleiades approached Izuku where they saw him. Solution. For a human, it's very cute. CZ sad face assent. Pastonia. Well, since you're here, you could look after him. He handed the phone to Izuku. I have to give the maids their tasks. I'll be right back. Wow, he left. Narbarl. But we don't know how to take care of a baby. She saw that it left. Lupus Regina. It can't be that hard. She touches Izuku's cheek. He seems very calm. Izuku grimaced and began to cry. Lupus Regina. Oh, Yuri. Hits Lupus Regina on the head. Don't make him cry. Lupus Regina. Takes Izuku away. Human babies are more fragile, so we have to be careful. Said, cradling Izuku until he calmed down. Intoma. What was expected of the older sister, seeing Yuri and Izuku? Hours later, Ainz, Izuku, and Albedo were in Ainz's office. Albedo. Everyone in Nazarick is aware of Izuku. Ainz. Well, he saw her. I suppose some doubted this decision. Albedo. That's right, Lord Ainz. He saw it, but knowing it was his decision they accepted it without problems. Ainz. Well, he saw Izuku and stroked him. I wonder if I made a good decision. I don't think some in Nazarick will accept it so easily even if it's my decision. Izuku took Ainz's hand and let out a small laugh. Ainz. Saw him. Hey, I hope I can grow up without any problems in Nazarick. Izuku. 1 year old. Pastonia was with Izuku while teaching him to walk. Pastonia. Very good. Carefully holding Izuku to prevent him from falling. You're doing very well, young man. Sebas arrived where they were. Sebas. What's happening? Pastonia. He was teaching the little wolf how to walk. He left Izuku, who sat down. Sebas. I see. He saw Pastonia. I just wanted to know if you've already given the maids their tasks. Pastonia. Oh heavens, I almost forgot. She saw him. Could you look after the young master? Sebas. Okay, watched her leave. Let's see. Sat down and looked at Izuku. Come on, young man. Izuku watched him, and with some difficulty, he stood up and began to walk. Sebas. It's going very well. Carefully, he extended his arms. Izuku stumbled a little but managed to reach Sebas. Sebas. Well done, smiled slightly. First word. Days later in the throne room. Ainz. As you all know, Izuku is learning to speak. Everyone nodded, so I ask you to be careful with your language. He looked at them. I don't want Izuku to learn bad words at such a young age. Everyone. Understood, Mr. Ainz. Everyone was about to leave, but they saw Izuku emerge from under Ainz's robes. Izuku. Babu. He started crawling so that Pastonia could arrive later. Pastonia. Excuse me, Lord Ainz bowed. The young master is very slippery. Ainz. Don't worry, he saw her. Babies can be very curious and slippery. It's normal for them. Izuku. Saw Albedo. Albedo. Will he say his first word? She knelt down near Izuku. Albedo. Izuku. Al. He saw Shaltir. Shaltir. Looks like she'll say my name. He saw Izuku. Shaltir. Albedo. Jealous grr. They started fighting while Izuku just watched them. Ainz. I think I expected that from those two looking at them. Izuku looked at the other guardians and stopped in his aura. Izuku. Abba. I call her Aura. She saw him. Izuku. Abba crawls towards her. Abba. Albedo and Shaltir were stunned when they saw it. Aura. Picking up Izuku. Yes, I'm Abba. I pet Izuku. Demiurge. I must admit I feel a little envious. Cocytus. Released some cold air. Mare. Good for you, sister. Ainz. At least his first word wasn't a swear word. Number 1 Mom. Izuku, 3 years old. He was lying bored in his bed while Fifth watched over him. Izuku. He stood up a little. Fifth, he saw her. Fifth. At your service, young Izuku. Izuku. Can you bring me some paper and some colored pencils? Fifth. Of course, I'll be right back. He left the room. While waiting, Izuku prepared his small table so he could draw. After a few minutes, Fifth arrived with the things and Izuku started drawing those he could in Nazarick. After a few minutes I finished about 20 drawings. Izuku. Can you help me, Fifth? Fifth. Of course. In Ainz's office, he was reviewing some documents when he saw Izuku and Fifth enter. Fifth. Excuse me, Mr. Ainz. Ainz. Did something happen? He saw them. Izuku. I want to give you something. Fifth. He saw her. Fifth. Yes, I looked through the drawings and gave him one. Izuku. For you. He gave her a drawing of himself. Ainz. Saw it, not bad for his age. Hey, thanks Izuku, you're very good at drawing. Izuku. Hee. Oh yeah, can you gather the others so we can give them their drawings? Ainz. He saw it, of course. He nodded. A few minutes later everyone was in the throne room watching Izuku sitting on it. Izuku. Ahem. He saw them. I gathered you here because I want to give you something. He saw Fifth. Please distribute them. She nodded and began to distribute the drawings to those who responded to them. Izuku. I hope you like them. Smiles. Everyone saw his drawings. Demiurge. As expected of the heir, he has a great talent for drawing. Shultier. Since you did it, I'll take very good care of you, young man. Mare and Aura. Thank you, young man. Cocytus. This is very well done, young sir. Pleiades. Thank you very much, sir. Albedo. Excuse me, why does mine say, Mom 4? Looked at Izuku. Izuku. Because I see you as a mom. Smiled. Even though you sometimes act weird when you're with my dad. Shultier. Mine says, Mom 3 inches. Aura. Mine is, Mom 2 inches. Looking at the drawing. Albedo. And who's the number 1 mom? A little jealous. The Pleiades looked at each other and denied. Shultier. So, who? They all looked at each other, until they noticed that Pestonia was looking in another direction while wagging her tail. Albedo. Pestonia. Jealous. Pestonua. Wow, shows the drawing that said, Mom number 1. Shultier and Albedo fell to the ground. Intoma. I suppose that makes sense. Solution. Pestonia is the one who has taken the best care of him. Yuri. Hiding her jealousy. CZ. Looking at her drawing. Adorable, she said neutrally. Hours later, Izuku was walking towards his room. I've finally found him, brother. Izuku. VOA. Pandora's actor, page F. Raza. Doppelganger. Area guardian of the treasury of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. P.A. I finally found him. I pick up Izuku. Izuku. Who are you? He saw him. P.A. I don't blame him for not knowing me. I lower him. I was told he might be scared of me when I was younger. So I was told not to go near him. Izuku. Okay. P.A. I'm Pandora's actor. Strikes a pose, and you, as the son of Lord Ainz, my creator, that makes us brothers. Izuku. Ooh. P.A. Come on. I'll show you some amazing things. Izuku. Yes. 1 hour later, with Ainz and Albedo in the office of this. Izuku. Enters the office. Dad. Ainz. Tell me Izu. He stopped when he saw that he was dressed the same as Page A. Albedo. What? Shocked. Izuku. Struck a pose. I am Izuku, the heir to the Great Tomb of Nazarick. The two. Ainz. Izuku is so cute. Albedo. Why yes, very cute, he said with a twitch in his eye. Izuku. He left. Ainz. Albedo saw her, calls Pandora's actor. I must speak with him about this. Albedo. Yes sir. 7-year-old Izuku was peacefully sleeping until Fifth entered the room. Fifth. Young man, it's time to wake up. Izuku. I don't want to. He turned away. Fifth. You must wake up. You will be late for your class with Miss Narberl Gamma. Izuku. Okay. He stood up, yawns. 5th. I'll get his clothes ready for today, he said as he went to Izuku's closet. Minutes later, Narberl and Izuku were in the arena on the 6th floor. Narberl. Today I'll teach you basic magic. Izuku nodded. Let's start with something simple. Lightning Dragon level 1. Electricity shot from his hand and then shot out towards a target they had placed. Izuku. Wow. Narberl. Now you try it. He saw Izuku. Izuku. Okay. Raises his hand. Lightning Dragon level 1. Electricity emanated from his hand but quickly disappeared. Izuku. OWW. Narberl. Don't worry, she saw him. Keep trying. Izuku nodded. Izuku tried a few more times until he succeeded. Narberl. Now shoot. He saw it. Izuku. Shoot. I cast the spell at the target. I hit it. Narberl. Well done. Thanks to her quirk, she learns things quickly. I'm sure I'd reach Lord Ainz's level. Let's keep training. Izuku's quirk. Quick understanding. You can learn anything in just a few tries, fighting techniques and in this case the spells of the people of the Tomb of Nazarick. Disadvantage. I can't learn several things at the same time. If I do, I'll get a terrible headache. Izuku. Yes. 1 hour later, after training, Izuku was in his room finishing his homework. Izuku. Can I go to the park? He saw a solution. Solution. You must finish your homework first, young man. Izuku. Pouted, but it's Saturday, I can finish in the morning. Solution. I pet him. Come on, if you finish them today you'll have all day free tomorrow and you can go with your friend. Izuku. You're right. He continued with his homework. When they finished their chores, Izuku and Solution went to the park with Solution wearing different clothes. Solution. Don't go too far away. Izuku nodded and went to the games. Guy. Approaching Solution. Hey beautiful, do you want to spend some time with us? Type 2. We're going to have a lot of fun. Solution. I'm busy right now. I could kill them now but it would attract attention. At that moment, Guy 1 brings a knife that came out of his hand close to her neck. Type 1. You'd better come with us if you don't want us to hurt the children. Solution saw it. Solution. Smiling. Okay, Izuku. I called his attention. I'll be back in a moment. Izuku. Okay, continued playing. In an alley. Type 2. There's nobody around, he said, looking out of the alley. Type 1. Good. Saw a Solution. Time to have some fun, cutie. Solution. I couldn't agree more. Smiles. After that, the men's screams were heard. With Izuku, he was playing until he saw a pink-haired girl looking at a magazine. Izuku approached him. What are you doing? I see this magazine about inventions, he said smiling. Izuku. Inventions. Curious. Yes, look, I show him the latest inventions of this year. When I grow up I'll create inventions just as cool. I smile. Izuku. Wow, looking at the magazine, they look amazing. He looked at it. Oh, my name is Izuku by the way. May Hatsume, next great inventor. Then Solution arrived. Solution. Sorry for the delay. She saw Izuku and May. Looks like she made a new friend. Izuku. Her name is May, and she'll make great inventions when she grows up. Solution. Inventions. Izuku showed her the magazine. Wow. It's possible Lord Ainz might be interested in these inventions. Could you lend me this small magazine? He saw May. I haven't finished reading it yet. She looked at Solution. But I can give you one I've already read. She took another magazine out of her backpack. Here. Solution. Great, thanks little one. Saw Izuku. I think it's time to go. I heard Pestonia was going to make Katsudon today. Izuku. Katsudon. With the sparkles. Let's go. Oh yeah, he saw May. See you May. May. Goodbye. She saw them leave. It's nice. She continued with her magazine. In the Tomb of Nazarick. In the throne room with Ainz and Solution. Solution. That's my report, Lord Ainz, she said kneeling. Ainz. Good work Solution. He saw some inventions in the magazine. If that girl May says she'll be a great inventor, it would be good if she were on our side. Solution. Did I capture her and bring her to Nazarick? I asked, looking at him. Ainz. It won't be necessary. He saw her. It seems Izuku got along well with her. Their friendship will benefit Nazarick in the long run. Besides, I don't want to hurt Izuku's friends. Asterisk. Solution. Understood, Mr. Ainz. Izuku, 10 years old. This was found with Cocytus in the sand in the 6th. Cocytus. On guard, he said, with a sword in his hand. Izuku. I'm ready with sword in hand. Cocytus. Now. Izuku quickly went towards him where he prepared to attack. Cocytus. That attack is very predictable, he prepared to block it. When Izuku was close, he jumped and propelled himself with one of Cocytus's arms to attack. Something like that, Cocytus. A good move. Both swords clashed, causing Cocytus to recoil slightly. Cocytus. That's enough for today. He saw Izuku sheath his sword. Izuku. Understood. He bowed and left. Aura and Mare arrived with Cocytus. Aura. And how is young Izuku doing? She saw Cocytus. Cocytus. His swordsmanship has improved greatly, exhales cold air. Mare. W. How much? Cocytus. He was able to make me retreat. Aura and Mare looked at him in surprise. The young lord. Will he be someone worthy to rule Nazarick? He left. With Izuku. He was walking towards his room when he saw Hamusuk. Breed. Giant hamster. Ainz mascot. Izuku saw Hamusuk asleep on his back and approached him. Izuku. Looks around but doesn't see anyone. Well, climbs onto Hamusuk. That's so soft. I think I could fall asleep. Hamusuk. Wakes up a little. He saw Izuku. Mr. Izuku. Izuku. I just want to rest a little. Hamusuk. Then I'll leave. Hamusuk. Okay. Get some rest, he said before going back to sleep. Izuku. You fell asleep. Z's. Yuri Alpha found him and took him to his room. Izuku. 13 years old. He was on his way to Nazarick but stopped at Dagobah beach. Izuku. I remember this being a beautiful beach, now it's full of trash. Looking at all the junk, I have an idea. The next day, Izuku was cleaning the beach. Gathering all the scrap metal in one place. He spent several months like this, with the guards visiting him some days to help him train. With Aura and C. Aura. On top of a refrigerator with Mare. Let's go. Let's go, she said through a megaphone, cheering on Izuku. Mare. Why you can. Izuku. Why yes. Pulling the refrigerator. Another day I was jogging while carrying a microwave with Narberl following him. Narberla. Just 2 more laps, mister, he saw it. Izuku. Why yes, trotting. And so more exercises with the help of his family, such as running while carrying Demiurge on his shoulders, dodging scrap metal that Yuri threw at him, among other types of training. Although unbeknownst to them, a scrawny blonde man had seen everything. 10 months had passed and Izuku had finally finished cleaning Dagobah beach. CZ, Solution and Lupus Regina arrived at Dagobah beach. When they arrived they saw Izuku screaming in a pile of scrap metal. Lupus Regina. I did it. Seeing the completely clean beach incredible. Solution. As expected of the heir looking at the beach. CZ. Great, she said neutrally. On the other side of the beach. Hey, did that kid really clean this whole beach by himself? Oh my goodness, he said, becoming muscular. That young man is really interesting. With Izuku and the Pleiades. CZ. Looking at the scrap metal, maybe I can use this scrap metal to create traps for Nazarick. Solution. Okay, we'll take care of the young master and you take care of the scrap metal. CZ nodded. See you later. A purple portal appeared where Solution and Lupus Regina entered with Izuku. Izuku. 15 years old. Ainz. Congratulations Izuku, today you turn 15. Everyone there applauded. Izuku. Thank you, Dad. Smiles. Ainz. You know what your mission is now, right? Izuku. Yes. I take out my notebook, enter UA and collect information on the quirks of the hero candidates. Ainz. That's right, he nodded. We'll talk about that later, for now let's just celebrate. A new day was beginning at the tomb of Nazarick. Izuku was getting changed for middle school when he finished and heard someone knocking on the door. Izuku. Go ahead, he said while checking his backpack. Pastonia entered with a tray containing Izuku's breakfast. Pastonia. I'll bring you your breakfast. Wow. Izuku. Oh, thank you, Pastonia. Pastonia placed the tray on the nightstand. Pastonia. There are only 10 months left until graduation, right? She said while pouring juice into a glass. Izuku. That's right. Eating, I'll be entering UA soon and gathering information on the hero candidates. Pastonia passed him the glass and he drank it. Thanks for the food. He put the plate and glass on the tray. I'm leaving. Pastonia. Have a good day. Wow. Takes the tray and leaves. Izuku opened a portal, entered it, and appeared in a small alley near the high school. I entered high school and that's how my day began. Professor. Okay, here are some documents with some careers you can choose from. Who are we kidding? Everyone wants to be a hero. Throwing the papers. All students except Izuku activated their quirks. Professor. Relax, they know they can't use their quirks. Bakugo. Sensei, don't put me in the same group of extras, I won't be at the bottom with the rejected ones. The students booed him. Bakugo. The extras should shut up. Professor. Oh yes, you'll be going to UA, right, Bakugo. The others were surprised. Professor. And also. Gown, right, he looked at Izuku. Izuku. I'll go to general studies. Girl. I thought you were going to the heroism class, she said from behind him. Bakugo. Even if I went to that class one wouldn't go in, he said somewhat annoyed. Izuku. Saw Bakugo, I'd pass the test easily. Smiled, I just want to give you a chance to get in, Bakugo. Bakugo. Tisk, bastard. Stands up. Teacher. Enough, they both saw him. To your seat, Bakugo, we will continue with the class. The class continued as normal until dismissal time. Izuku. I wonder if Ochako has already left. He started walking. Shadow Demon. Izuku's shadow changed. Izuku. Tell my dad I'm going to see Ochako, I'll be a little late. His shadow returned to normal, and after a few minutes of walking he arrived at Ochako's junior high school. Izuku. Where is she? Someone touched his shoulder. He turned around and saw Ochako. Ochako. Are you looking for someone? Izuku. A cute mochi, have you seen her? He looked at her with a smile. Ochako. Puffed out her cheeks, don't call me that. Izuku. But you look like a mochi, he touched his cheek and stretched it a little, see. Ochako. Hey, Izuku let go of her, don't do that, he rubbed his cheek. Izuki. I'm sorry, can I treat you to something to eat? Ochako saw him. Ochako. Okay, smiles, I'll gladly accept. Izuku. Okay, he started walking alongside Ochako, you're going to UA, right? She nodded. Ochako. You're going too, right? Izuku. I'll go to general studies, he saw her, I'm not very interested in being a hero. Ochako. That's too bad, maybe we could have been in the same class. Izuku. That doesn't mean we won't see each other, smiled, we'll still be together, mochi. Ochako. Don't call me that, she tapped him. After eating, Izuku left Ochako at her home and began to return to his own. Izuku. What a relaxing day, I passed through a small tunnel. V. Lodo. Finally, a perfect hiding place, he said from the top of the tunnel. Izuku. The villain lunged at Izuku, but stopped when he sensed a terrifying aura. V. Lodo. What is this aura? He saw Izuku, you're not normal. He started to walk away. Izuku. Started approaching the villain, of course I am, smiled. Kindly, you have an interesting quirk. The villain tried to leave but was stopped by lightning. V. Lodo. What the? Izuku. This is the first time I've cast this spell my way, lightning dragon. Prison. A cage of rays imprisoned the villain, where it began to shrink, leaving a small cube. Izuku. I'm sure Demiurge will enjoy experimenting on you. He smiled, looking at the cube. V. Lodo. Let me out. He said desperately. Izuku. But we barely know each other, he said, inserting the cube into a small portal. I want to see what experiments Demiurge will conduct. Then I heard a manhole cover fly off. I turned around and saw All Might. You're under arrest, villain. He said, but only saw Izuku, Where did he go? Have you seen a villain made of mud around here, young man? He saw Izuku. Izuku. I'm afraid not, takes out his notebook, but, if it's not too much trouble, could you give me your autograph? Of course, she said, signing the notebook, I have to go, I have to find that villain, she left at great speed. Izuku. Good luck. He opened a portal and entered, appearing in his room. One of the maids entered the room where she saw him appear from the portal. Sixus. Welcome, Mr. Izuku, he said, bowing. Izuku. Hello Sixus. He puts his backpack on the bed as Demiurge and Nazarick. Sixus. Nodded. That's right. Do you want me to call him? He looked at Izuku. Izuku. No, thank you. I take out the cube with the villain, just give him this. I'm sure he'll be interested in this quirk. Sixus. Understood. With your permission, he left. Izuku. I'm going to take a bath before dinner, he said, grabbing his clothes and heading to the baths. After a relaxing bath, Izuku. Entering his room. What a nice bath, stretched. Fifth. Entering the room. I've brought your dinner, Mr. Izuku. Izuku. Thank you. Fifth. 10 months later, Izuku and Ochako were in front of UA to take the exam. Izuku. Good luck with your exam. Ochako. You too, smiled and left. Izuku. Now that I think about it, Hatsume wanted to join the support department. He thought as he walked towards his exam room. After a while, the exam finally ended, so he went to the observation room to see those who wanted to enter the hero department. Izuku. I hope Ochako is doing well. Looking around for her. Elsewhere. We have a good harvest this year, said a bear, dog, mouse upon seeing the cameras, but it's time let the real test begin. I press a big button. In the fake city, suddenly the entire ground began to shake and nearby buildings were destroyed by the arrival of a huge robot that made its way towards the participants. Izuku. Wow, I think it's almost the same size as Gargantua, he said, surprised. Then I notice all the participants fleeing, and Ochako under some rubble. Izuku. And they want to call themselves heroes. Tisk, he saw the robot start to approach Ochako. Everyone watched as that robot was about to crush Ochako with its foot, until they heard a loud crash and then saw a huge beam destroy the head of the 0-point robot. Both the participants and the UA teachers who were watching were impressed upon seeing the person responsible, who was Izuku. Izuku. Are you okay? Picks up Ochako. Ochako. My ankle. Then an old lady arrived with them. I'll take care of that, he said, kissing Ochako on the forehead. Ochako. It doesn't hurt anymore, although I feel dizzy now. It's because of my quirk. Just rest and you'll be better, he said with a smile. Is anyone else hurt? He asked the participants. With the teachers. Midnight. Who is that kid? I destroy the 0-point attack. Vladking. Checking the lists. I've got it. Everyone saw it. Izuku gown. Quirk. Electrokinesis. Aizawa. That's strange. It says here that he took his general studies exam. Midnight. So I go into the fake city to save that girl. Amazing. Aizawa. I'm surprised you didn't get into the hero course. Vladking. He would definitely be in the hero class. He saw the principal. Nezu. That boy is interesting, scratched his chin. A few days had passed since the entrance exam at UA. During that time, Izuku and Fu's family waited for the letter to arrive at the fake house they had built long ago under Yuri Alpha's watchful eye. Ainz. Receiving a message from Yuri. What's wrong, Yuri Alpha? Yuri. The letter from UA has arrived. I'm on my way to Nazarick. Ainz. Okay, we'll wait for you. Minutes later, all the Guardians and Pleiades were in the throne room to find out the results. Izuku. Okay, let's see. Opened the card where a small disc came out. A hologram emerged from the disc showing a dog. Nezu. Am I a dog? A bear? A mouse? No, I'm Principal Nezu. Shultir. I think it's a mouse. Aura gave her a light tap to shut her up. Nezu. Young lady, your exam results were 100% perfect scores. The Guardians smiled. Nezu. Although I must say we were surprised that only you discovered the secret test, even without wanting to enter the hero class. A video was shown of Izuku destroying the 0 points and saving Ochako. Nezu. So we'll save you a spot in case you want to switch to the hero class. See you later. The hologram faded. Demiurge. A perfect note, smiles as expected of the heir. Albedo. A great job, no doubt. Mayor. W. Well done, young man. Aura. I got the highest grade. Smiling. Cocytus. Well done, young sir. Shultir. Congratulations, smiles. Izuku. Thank you, smiles. Ainz. Well done, Izuku. He stood up. We're just a few steps closer to our plan succeeding. Izuku. Yes, nodded well. There are still a few days before I go to UA. Looked at his father. I'll go see Ochako for a while. I want to know if she got in too. Ainz. Okay, he saw him, there's no need to say it, but be careful. Izuku nodded. Izuku. See you later. He opened a portal and entered it. Albedo. Standing up, Lord Ainz, I don't mean to be rude, but, do you approve of the relationship between Izuku and that girl Ochako? Ainz. To be honest, yes, but I think their relationship could be difficult since she wants to be a hero and he, well, I think that's obvious. Demiurge. Someone who will become a ruler over all of Japan. Ainz Ascendio, a difficult relationship. Aura. I hope their relationship works out. She's cute, and Izuku was adorable as a child. She saw them. Imagine what their children would be like. They all imagined a little green-haired girl calling them grandparents. Guardians. Grandparent, asterisk, Schultier. That would be adorable, she said with a smile and blush. Yuri. I couldn't withstand so much tenderness, she said softly. Pastonia. Your son or daughter would be so adorable, wow. Ainz. Only time will tell about their relationship. I really hope the relationship works out. Asterisk. With Izuku. He was walking towards Ochako's house. Izuku. Should I buy her a pasty in case it happened? Yes, I'll buy her one. After buying the cake, I arrived at Ochako's house. Izuku. Knocks on the door. Ochako. Ochako. I'm coming. She opened the door. Oh, hi Izuku, what are you doing here? Izuku. I came to see you, smiled. Also, I wanted to know if you got into the hero class. Ochako. I understand, come in. Izuku entered. They both went to the kitchen. Izuku. Well, he looked at Ochako. Did you do it? Ochako. Smiled. Yes. I did it. Izuku. I'm glad. Smiles. I brought a cake to celebrate. Shows the bag. Ochako. Thank you, Izuku. And also I take out a box. Mochi. Ochako's sad face, drooling a little. Mochis. They spent the next hour eating and watching a movie. The movie was ending. Izuku said goodbye to Ochako and returned to Nazarick. Nazarick. Demiurge. Lord Ainz, I believe it is time for the next step in our plan. Smiles. Aura. I agree, Mayor. Me too, Ainz. All right, what's your opinion, Izuku? He looked at his son. Izuku. He saw him and smiled. I think it's time Japan knew about Nazarick. In the city of Kamino and Hosu. Schultier. On top of a building. Very well, time to work. People were walking peacefully. It all seemed like a quiet day, until they all saw some kind of purple masses with several creepy faces flying through the sky. I don't think they have a name as such, so I'm going to give them faces. Faces. People from the cities of Kamino and Hosu. Everyone paid attention and the heroes prepared themselves. Faces. The supreme being of the great tomb of Nazarick, also known as the Sorcerer King, Ainz Ooal, has returned. Faces. The supreme being wants his lands back. If you do not peacefully surrender the cities of Kamino and Hosu within 2 months, Lord Ainz will send his army to destroy them and their inhabitants. That worried people. Schultier. Seeing everything. Well, that will be enough, she said, clapping her hands as the faces disappeared. I hope you decide well, humans, she said, opening a portal and entering it. Days later, the heroes have been alert to the warning of those floating faces and that supreme being they spoke of. Research groups have been formed to find out something about Ainz Ooal and the tomb of Nazarick. Izuku. Walking towards UA. The heroes have been on high alert. Looking at his phone, I convinced my dad and the guardians to give people time to make a good decision. He saw Ochako arrive. Hello. Ochako. Hello. Smiles. Ready for the first day of classes. Izuku. I should be telling you that, you're in the hero class. Ochako. I won't lie, I'm a little nervous. Izuku. You'll do fine. Smiles. I'll see you at lunchtime. Ochako. Sure. She went in search of her classroom. Izuku started looking for his classroom. Izuku. 1C, here it is. He saw his classroom. Now that I think about it. Mei is in the support department. Maybe I'll see her later. He entered the classroom. In the following hours, Izuku was able to meet his classmates and analyze their quirks. He also met a boy named Hitoshi Shinso, who had a mind control quirk. Unfortunately for Izuku, he didn't tell him how it worked. Now at lunchtime, Izuku, with his food, went in search of Ochako. Izuku. She said she'd be around here, looking for her. Ochako. Izuku. I call him over here. He saw her with a boy wearing glasses and a girl who looked like a frog. Izuku approached, hello, sat down and saw Ochako's classmates. I'm Izuku Gaon, it's a pleasure to meet you all. Tsuyu. I'm Tsuyu Asui, nice to meet you, Hiro. Iida. Tenya Iida, it's a pleasure to meet you, he said, waving his arms. Wait, are you the one who got a perfect score on the exams? Izuku. I guess so. Tsuyu. So you're the one our master Kiro was looking for. She saw Izuku. Izuku. Was your teacher looking for me? He saw Ochako, did you know? Ochako. I sent you a message, didn't you see it? She said, taking a bite of her food. Izuku took out his cell phone and saw the message. Ah, yes, she wants to see me after class. Ochako. She said you caught her attention because you have a great quirk, and she found it strange that you didn't join the hero class. Izuku. I see. Ochako. I told him you weren't interested in being a hero and he understood, but he still wants to see your potential. Izuku. Okay, I'll see him later. After eating, with classes over, Izuku went to see Ochako's teacher. They went outside UA to a field where they conducted several tests, according to Ochako. Aizawa. Alright, please show what you've got. He looked at Izuku. Izuku. Okay, taking the ball, if I use the maximum level I'll destroy it. I think level 5 will be fine, here I go. Ochako and her classmates were also watching. Izuku. Electricity began to flow, lightning dragon. Level 5. The ball shot out and disappeared from everyone's sight. Iida. Incredible. Tsuyu. Kiro. It got lost in the sky, said a redhead. Aizawa. Saw the scoreboard 1,500 meters. Everyone. What? Question mark question mark question mark. 2. It far surpassed Bakugo's. Said a blonde boy. Bakugo. Tisk. Damn it. He launched himself at Izuku with an explosion. Aizawa was about to throw his bandages, but he saw what Izuku did to Bakugo. Izuku. Placing a finger on Bakugo's throat, you always start with your right hand, so what you were going to do was predictable. They were all going to go and stop him, but they felt a presence that made them not want to move for anything in the world. Aizawa. This presence, it's as if it were death itself. Izuku. Let's go of Bakugo. Well, if that's all, then I'll be going. Excuse me. Leaves. Hidden behind a wall. What the hell was that? I felt a presence worse than his. Who was that boy? A few weeks had passed since Izuku entered UA. Since he arrived, things have been very normal. Izuku. Are you going to a facility to do rescue training? He asked Ochako. Ochako. Yes, she nodded. We'll leave tomorrow. Iida. I'm excited to go. Tsuyu. Hiro nodded. I'm waiting for it too. Izuku. It's barely noticeable from his face. Then an alarm started to sound. Level 3 violation. All students must evacuate immediately. Iida. Level 3 rape. What does that mean? He asks, confused. Boy. That means someone infiltrated the academy, he said as he left with the others. Iida. As expected from UA, they know what to do in these situations. Everyone was quickly leaving the place, pushing and shoving, including Izuku and his friends. Izuku. Somewhat apart from the others. Damn it. Put a finger to his ear. Lupus Regina. What's going on outside? Lupus Regina. A subject destroyed part of the lock. I followed him to the director's office, but he disappeared in a purple mist. Izuku. I see, this gives me a bad feeling. Then they pushed him against the window where he saw the reporters. Izuku. I can use them to calm everyone down. Everyone calm down. I fire a beam, making everyone stop and look at me. Calm down. They're just reporters. People calmed down and continued with their daily activities. Departure time. Ochako. What a scare we had in the cafeteria. Tsuyu. It was really unexpected. Kiro. Iida. Luckily it was only the reporters. Izuku. Yes, well, I have to go. He saw them. I have to do some shopping my mother asked me to do. He smiled and left. He saw that he was no longer in sight of the others. Lupus Regina. Lupus Regina. Removes her invisibility if. Izuku. What were you able to find out? He looked at her. Lupus Regina. The last thing she saw before the subject escaped was him checking something in the office drawers, the heroism class schedules. Izuku. I see. He saw her. Tomorrow you'll go see Ochako's class, and the other Pleiades too. Lupus Regina. What's wrong with Mr. Ainz? Izuku. Don't worry, I'll ask for permission. Lupus nodded. Hours later, Izuku had already explained to Ainz what he wanted to do. Izuku. And that's why I want to bring the Pleiades, he said, bowing. Please, father, let me protect Ochako. The guards paid attention. Demiurge. If you'll allow me, Lord Ainz. Ainz saw him. I believe I should accept. Ainz. Tell me your reason. Demiurge. He saw him. Demiurge. This would be a good opportunity to show those villains the power of Nazarick and what will happen if they mess with us. Smiled. Ainz. Albedo. I also think it would be a great opportunity. She saw Izuku, and I understand Izuku's feeling of wanting to protect his beloved. Ainz. All right, I allow it. He looked at Izuku. Show them the power of Nazarick, Izuku. Izuku. Smiled. Of course. Later. CZ. Measuring Izuku. Okay, these are the final measurements. Izuku. Okay. He looked at her. Do you think he'll be ready by tomorrow? CZ. Don't worry, I'll work on it all night and call your suit the Black Mamba, he said, making a dramatic effect. Izuku. He really liked that movie. Well, if there aren't any other names, it'll stay with that one. And I know you don't need to sleep, but still try to get some rest before going to UA. CZ nodded. See you later. He left. He continued walking until he met Yuri, Solution, and Intoma. Yuri. Young sir bowed just like Solution and Intoma. Izuku. Are you ready for tomorrow? Yuri. Of course. Nodded. I have my mask ready to prevent anyone from recognizing me. Izuku. Good. Solution. Excuse me, young sir. Izuku saw her. Do we also have to wear masks? Izuki. No, only Yuri since Ochako knows her. Solution. I understand. By the way, is it okay if Intoma and I take some of those villains to eat? Izuku. I don't know how many there will be. If a lot of them go, they can take some, but only villains. Intoma. Good. The next day, Izuku was peacefully attending his classes until he received a message from Yuri. Yuri. Senor Izuku, están aquí? Izuku put on a serious face. Izuku. Sensei. I called his teacher's attention. Can I go to the bathroom? Teacher. Go ahead. Izuku. Thank you. He stood up and left. I'm coming over there. A la USJ. Nothing seemed to favor the student heroes. Their teachers were all seriously injured. Well, I'm done with this, said the villain who had several hands all over his body. Question mark, question mark, question mark. 2. It seems All Might will be a while in arriving. Tamura Shigaraki. Tamura. That's a shame. I wanted to try out Nomu, he said, looking at Nomu. I think it's time to go. Uraraka, Tsuyu, and Mineta were listening in the sinking zone. Mineta. Are you leaving? We're saved. Tsuyu. I don't know. I don't think they'll just leave. Ochako. Yes. Tamura. But first, the three of them saw that Tamura was already close to touching Ochako's face. Tamura. Let's break the pride of the symbol of peace. When I was about to touch Ochako. Clash. The roof of the facility had broken, and several people were seen floating down it. Tamura. And them. Kurogiri. I don't know, they're not one of us. Izuku. I introduce myself. I am Spectra, son of the ruler of the Nazarick tomb, Ainz Ooal. Spectra. And they are the combat servants, the Pleiades. Tamura. Tumba de Nazarick. Ainz Ooal. Kurogiri. They are the ones who sent that message to the cities of Hosu and Kamino. Tamura. And what are you doing here? Spectra. I heard about your plan, and I'm afraid you're close to our territory. She looked at Tamura. So if you leave, I'll let you live. Her eyes glowed. Tamura. Don't make me laugh, brat. The Pleiades became angry, causing Tamura to tremble slightly. Tamura. What the hell? He saw the other villains, take care of them. Villain. Die. He lunged at Spectra. He simply raised his hand towards the villain and Spectra. Grasp heart. The villain only spat blood from his mouth before falling to the ground. Villain 2. Checked him, he's dead. Tamura. In one attack. What the hell? Kurogiri. I think we shouldn't underestimate them. Tamura Shigaraki. Tamura. Tisk. Kill them. Order to the villains. Spectra. You know your task. Looked at the Pleiades. Take care of it. They all nodded and went against the villains. Then, it's just you and me left. Looked at Tamura. Spectra. Although it seems you have a guardian, she saw the Nomu. Then, to be fair, he approached the villain he killed. Spectra. My father and I never got to experience this. Those he created showed no difference, but now with a body that has a quirk. I take the villain's head. Spectra. Create high-level undead. Spectra. Death Knight. A purple mass emerged from Izuku and entered the villain's body, which began to move. Everyone watched in amazement as the body grew in size until a huge black skeleton, with armor of the same color, and 2 cannons on the shoulders corresponding to the villain's body. Death Knight. ROAARR. Everyone was amazed and scared to see the Death Knight. Tamura. What the hell is that? Looking at the Death Knight. Spectra. We call him Death Knight. He saw Tamura, a high-level undead. He smiled. Kurogiri. Undead. Confused. Spectra. Yes, well, walks a little. The inhabitants of Nazarick are not human. Tamura looked at him confused. They are actually those fantasy monsters that are told in various stories. Tamura. That's not possible. He scratched his neck. Those things aren't real. Spectra. Are you sure? You say that as if that thing saw the Nomu didn't look like a monster. Smiled. Anyway, time to fight. Saw the Death Knight. Destroy that thing. Pointed at the Nomu. The Death Knight roared and began to run towards the Nomu. Tamura. Tisk Matalo Nomu. Ordena. The Death Knight and Nomu began to fight, and it became clear that they were evenly matched. Tamura. It's impossible. It's supposed to be the weapon to kill All Might. He scratched his neck. Spectra. Well, what a pathetic weapon, she said mockingly. Tamura. Shut up, brat. He saw him. Spectra. Well, I guess it's my turn. Her electricity bursts forth. Lightning Dragon. She launches her attack at Tamura. Kurogiri used his portals to redirect the attack elsewhere. Spectra. A quirk that allows you to create portals. Interesting. Smiles, but I don't think you can answer this so quickly, can you? In the blink of an eye, Spectra had vanished. Tamura. But what? Spectra. What are we looking at? Said from behind Tamura. Tamura got scared and tried to attack him, but he disappeared and they saw him where he had been before. Kurogiri. Teleportation. Tamura. It's impossible. He can't have 2 quirks. Only the sensei can give quirks to other people. Asterisk. The Death Knight cut off one of the Nomu's arms and then fired the cannons into its arms, pushing it away. Then they saw the Nomu begin to regenerate. Spectra. Regeneration. Interesting. Watching the Nomu regenerate. The Nomu began to strike the Death Knight, but he blocked with his shield, then attacked the Nomu with his sword, severing several of its limbs. As the Nomu was regenerating, the Death Knight grabbed it and threw it towards Tamura and Kurogiri, who dodged it. Tamura. Damn it. Then they saw the Pleiades arrive. Lupus Regina. We've already taken care of all the villains, young sir. Tamura. What? Intoma. And we also took the bodies of some, she said, showing her insects that were carrying some of the villains' bodies. Spectra. Well done. My father will like to experiment with them. Saw Solution. And what about the ones you wanted? Solution. We already took them. Smiled. Now I'll take you to Nazarick. Intoma. This one tasted good. Shows an arm he was eating. Yuri. You shouldn't eat during our work. He saw Intoma. Intoma. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, she said, going back to eating the arm. Narbarl. What do we do with them? He saw Tamura and Kurogiri. Spectra. Well, they don't look like much now. She saw them. Tamura. Angry. Nomu. Kill him now. Furious order. The Nomu finished regenerating and went at great speed towards Izuku, and when it was about to hit him. Tamura. And no, it can't be, astonished. They saw how Yuri easily stopped the Nomu's fist. Yuri. Don't you dare touch the young lord, she said angrily as she punched Nomu, sending him flying. Tamura. What the hell are you? The Nomu stood up and stood beside him. Spectra. I already told you, didn't I? She saw him, but well, it's time to end this. She started walking towards Tamura. Tamura. Tisk, kill him already, Nomu. Order where he launched himself at Spectra. Spectra. Let me show you. Desperation. Spectra. Black hole. Everyone was stunned. The perfect weapon to kill All Might disappeared into a black hole. Tamura. I am possible, it can't be possible. It's supposed to be the weapon to kill All Might. Holding his head, Spectra. Well, I'm not All Might, smiled, so tell me, how does it feel? Despair. Her eyes glowed. Tamura just stared at Spectra with a smile on his face, a damn smile that would give him nightmares. But before he could say anything, the door had been destroyed, and everyone saw All Might appear. There's nothing to fear anymore, because I'm here. He said, tearing off his tie. Tamura. Right now, damn it. He said angrily. Lupus Regina. So that's All Might. I admit he looks intimidating. She said, looking at All Might. All Might charged at Spectra and the Pleiades at great speed. Luckily, they were able to dodge him, but Izuku had received a blow that knocked off his mask. Pleiades. Lord. Worried. They managed to dodge me. He thought in surprise, but stopped when he sensed several murderous auras. What? He saw the furious Pleiades. Solution. You, Narberyl. You hit the young man. Angrily. Intoma. You will die for that, he said in a slightly deeper voice. Uraraka. Saw Spectra and caught a glimpse of her face. Those eyes, could it be? Just as they were about to attack All Might, Izuku's voice stopped them. Spectra. Halt. The Pleiades saw him. Our work is done. He said, going to get his mask and putting it on. It's time to go. Lupus Regina. But sir, Yuri. You heard it, he said, holding back his anger. Our work is done. Spectra. Well, I can let you stay with the other villains. She looked at All Might. Maybe we'll meet again sometime, All Might. And with that said, disappearance. Damn it, he saw where Tamura was, but he also disappeared. Damn it. Later, the patrols had arrived where they arrested and took away the bodies of the villains who were at the USJ. Tsukauchi. All the students are unharmed, he said to his partner, then looked at the students. For now, everyone will return to their classroom. We can't proceed to the interrogation, naturally. Tsuyu. Excuse me, how is Aizawa-sensei? Hiro. Tsukauchi. His arms are fractured as is his face. Luckily he didn't suffer brain damage, he said. The bad thing is, there's a possibility that his eyesight was affected. Tsuyu. Hiro, worried. Tsukauchi. As for 13, I'm afraid his back and the backs of his arms have suffered serious lacerations, but luckily his vital signs are normal. Ochako. Thank goodness, sighs in relief. Tsukauchi. By the way, looked at the students. They said that villain, Shigaraki, brought with him a weapon capable of killing All Might, right? Everyone nodded. Tsukauchi. But even so, one of the women who came with Spectra was able to hit him like it was nothing. On top of that, that guy defeated him without even trying. Tsukauchi. The tomb of Nazarick. What kind of people are there? Asterisk. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Tamura is destroying some things in the bar with his quirk. Tamura. How was that possible? What did Sensei do wrong? Angry. Calm down, Tamura said from a television. They just weren't prepared enough. Question mark. 2. Yes, they underestimated us. It's a good thing we went by the name, League of Villains, said another voice. By the way, what happened to that joint project with the sensei and me? Hasn't my creation, Nomu, been recovered? Kurogiri. He was defeated, he said casually. After everything I did to make him as powerful as All Might, he said with annoyance, then sighed. Well, it can't be helped, what a shame. Tamura. Tisk, but it wasn't All Might who defeated him. What do you mean it wasn't All Might? He asked, bewildered. Kurogiri. The one who defeated him was a boy who called himself Spectra, who said he was the son of Ainz Ooal, ruler of the tomb of Nazarick. Interesting. Tamura. Not only did he defeat him, but one of his damned servants was able to hit the Nomu like it was nothing, and the damn brat seemed to have more than one quirk too. What? Tamura. As you heard, Sensei looked at the screen. He had a lightning quirk, teleportation. He even created a black hole with which he defeated the Nomu. I see. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on the people of Nazarick. They could be great enemies for us, he said, feeling that it might be a bad idea to have them as enemies. Tamura. Yes, Sensei. Anger. All the guardians were looking at something that worried them and touched them at the same time. 5-year-old Izuku with a pout. Ainz. So, what happened, Izuku? Izuku. Someone came into my room and broke my All Might figure. Shows the broken figure. I want to know who it was. Ainz. He saw the guardians. Well, the guardians didn't say anything, until Izuku noticed Albedo and Shaltir looking away. Izuku. Albedo. Shaltir. The two trembled slightly. Was it you? He approached them and stared intently. They both saw it and trembled a little. The two were sorry. They pressed their foreheads to the ground. Albedo. We wanted to leave this for her. She takes out a plushie of herself, just as Shaltir took out one of herself. Shaltir. When I saw that Albedo had the same idea as me, I got jealous and we started fighting in her room. I'm sorry. Izuku. Picks up the plushies. They're cute. Both of them looked at him with smiles. But I still haven't forgiven you for breaking my figure. Ainz. You can give them a punishment. He looked at Izuku. So if they do something bad again, they'll remember the punishment you gave them. Izuku. I understand. He saw Albedo and Shaltir thinking. Everyone watched him intently. Izuku. Already. Minutes later, everyone watched in amazement as Izuku used Albedo and Shaltir as horses pulling a carriage that was actually a wooden box with some pillows. Demiurge. Using the guardians to pull his chariot. Incredible. A fitting punishment for breaking the heir's things. He said, fascinated. Aura. Now I know I don't want to make Izuku angry. Hehe. Kokitis nodded. Mayor. SSS. Izuku. Is the punishment all right? He looked at his father. Ainz. Of course, it's better than I thought. I think the people of Nazarick are already influencing him. Asterisk. Izuku. All right, smiled. Giddy up. He said to Albedo and Shaltir. The two. Why yes. They started crawling. Sleepover with the girls. Izuku was in the Pleiades room. Yuri. Well, we're taking care of him today. What does he want to do today? Izuku. A sleepover. He said, making everyone look at him curiously. Intoma. Sleepover. Curious. Izuku. Ochako told me that several people get together and do many things. He saw them like watching movies, eating various things, and whoever falls asleep first gets their face painted. Lupus Regina. Sounds interesting. I smile. Solution. Lord Ainz gave us the day off, so we could do it. CZ. That sounds good to me, said neutrally. Yuri. Okay, let's do it. Minutes later they went for some food and sweets. Then CZ set up the television they bought, and Izuku connected his video game console. Solution. So, how do you play? He said, holding a console controller. Izuku. With this stick you move the character, with this you attack, this you jump, and when that bar is charged, with this button you perform a special attack. Solution. I think I understand now, he said, starting to play. Narbarrel. Me too. Fox. Narbarrel. Why Falco? Solution. Izuku. Wow, they really learned fast. Impressed by the fight. Yuri. Eating pizza. I've never tried this food before, it's delicious. Intoma. These popcorns aren't bad either. Eating. The hours continued to pass until they began to fall asleep, the first being Yuri. The next day, Pastonia knocked on the door of the Pleiades room to pick up Izuku and get him ready for school. Yuri. Opening the door. Good morning. Pastonia. Good morning, Miss Yuri. Alpha. She saw her with her face painted. Yuri. Is something wrong? He saw her. Pastonia. Nothing. I'm here to prepare Izuku for school. Yuri. Oh, okay. So Pastonia and Izuku went to his room to prepare it. Minutes later, Ainz walked through the corridors of Nazarick until he passed by Lupus Regina and Yuri. Lupus, Regina and Yuri. Good morning, Lord Ainz, they said, bowing. Ainz. Good morning. He saw Yuri's face. Yuri. Saw him. Is something wrong, Mr. Ainz? Ainz. No, I just wanted to know if Pestonia prepared Izuku for school. Yuri. He did it, sir, I confirm. Ainz. Good, and Yuri, she saw him. Go wash your face, she left. Yuri. She saw herself in the reflection of her gloves. Lupus, Regina. Is, Choreo. Yuri. Lupus, Regina. Chased after her. Unexpected visit. Present time. Director Nezu finished his lunch and headed towards his office. After the attack on USJ, he had to deal with reporters, so he gave students 2 weeks off to relax after that incident. When he arrived at his office and was about to open it, he stopped. His animal instincts told him not to open it for anything in the world, but they also told him that if he didn't open the door he would regret it a lot. Gathering some courage, he opened the door and saw a woman sitting in the chair in front of his desk. Nezu. Can I help you? Walking to her seat. Yes, there's something he wants to ask you. He saw him. Nezu. Of course, but first I want to know, how do I get in here? He watched the woman as she took a seat. That's not important, smiled. First, I want to say it's a pleasure to meet you. The woman looked up with a smile. Albedo. Director Nezu. Nezu looked at Albedo and went to take his seat. Nezu. Is there anything I can help you with, miss? He looked at her. Albedo. You can call me Albedo. Nezu. Miss Albedo, how can I help you? Albedo. I come on behalf of Lord Ainz Ooal. Nezu paid attention. We heard that your sports festival is coming up. So Lord Ainz wants to see you in person. He saw him. We were thinking of going unannounced, but that would cancel the event, wouldn't it? Nezu. And, Albedo. So I've come to ask for some seats for Lord Ainz. Nezu. I understand. If I refuse, I feel like I could die at any moment. He saw her. I'll make sure to save some seats for Lord Ainz. Albedo. Very well, smiled. I will inform Lord Ainz. I will take my leave. Stood up and walked towards the door. Nezu. Miss Albedo. Albedo stopped. Is it true that Lord Ainz will send his army to the cities of Hosu and Kamino if they are not surrendered to him? He asked seriously. Albedo looked at him out of the corner of his eye. That's right. We were planning to take them by force without even giving them a warning. Nezu trembled slightly, but Lord Ainz's son doesn't like taking lives without reason. Albedo. He saw it. They still have a month and a few weeks left, so let your superiors know. We expect a response before the middle of the second month. With that said, she left, and Nezu sighed. Being with that woman made him feel a great sense of danger if he said the wrong thing. Nezu. Ainz Ooal. What kind of person is he? I hope I don't regret inviting him to the festival, he said, taking a sip of tea. In the tomb of Nazarick, Izuku was creating variations of the lightning dragon spell. Izuku. I think with this, creates some electric whips. I make some whips with the lightning dragon, he said, using them to destroy a training dummy. Aura. Oh, incredible. Applause for Izuku. It's fascinating to see how he creates variations of a spell. Izuku. Thank you. He dispelled the spell and stretched. I want to have some tricks up my sleeve for the sports festival, even though it's still a little while away. Aura. And I know you'll win. Gave a thumbs up with a smile. Izuku looked at her for a moment, then stroked her head. Aura. Izuku. Sorry I leave her. I couldn't help it. Sometimes I forget you're older than me. Hehe. Aura. Smiled. Good heavens, I still can't believe that little boy grew so tall. Looked at Izuku. You used to be shorter than me. Izuku. Gee. Aura. Izuku. Izuku watched as he extended his arms towards him. Izuku. Oh, picks her up and puts her on his shoulders. It's funny, you used to carry me on your shoulders, smiles, and now I do it. Aura. Hehe. Izuku. Puts her down. Well, I'll go take a bath. Aura. Sure, see you later. Izuku left. Outside of Nazarick, a blonde girl was walking through the forest in the rain. Question mark. I hate the rain. Covering himself with his shirt. He kept walking until he saw. What is this place? Well, as long as I can take shelter from the rain. Walks towards the building. He stayed there for a few minutes until he heard someone's footsteps. Schultier. You shouldn't be here, she said from behind the girl. The girl quickly backed away and pulled out a knife. Schultier. You seem to be far from home, child. Looking at the girl. There's no home for me with those idiots I have for parents. Looking at her, and I don't want any trouble, I just want to get out of the rain. Schultier. Well, the way you're holding that knife makes you look like you're looking for trouble. She said, looking at the knife. We have to be wary of strangers, right? Schultier. Hey, you're right. What is this place? He saw Schultier. Schultier. You are in the great tomb of Nazarick. She saw it. I am Schultier, guardian of the first, second, and third floors of Nazarick. The tomb of Nazarick. Those who want the cities of Hosu and Camino. Schultier. That's right, she saw her, and if you don't want to die, you'd better come with me. The girl only looked into her eyes for a moment. I feel like if I don't listen to him, I'll die. Okay, I put the knife away. Schultier. Good decision, smiles. Do you have a name? Toga. Hamiko. Hamiko Toga. A few minutes later, Ainz, Izuku, and the guardians gathered in the throne room. Ainz. So you caught an intruder, Schultier. He saw Toga. Schultier. Yes, I decided to bring her before you instead of killing her. She bowed. Ainz. Good work. He saw Toga. What is your name and your purpose here? Toga. Saw Ainz and trembled slightly. I'm Hamiko Toga and I just wanted to take cover from the rain, sir. Ainz. Saw Toga's wet clothes. Fine, I'll believe you. Now, what should we do with you? Aura. Should we kill her? Toga trembled. Izuku. I don't like taking lives for no reason, he said, and I don't think we have anything to gain from his death. Ainz. That's right, Toga. If it's possible. They both looked at her. I would like to stay here. She knelt down and pressed her forehead to the floor. Albedo. What are you saying, you disgusting human? Izuku gestured for her to stop. Izuku. Why should we let you stay here? Toga. I have nowhere to stay. I committed murder at my old school, and my parents didn't want the devil's daughter in their home. Ainz. What is your quirk? Toga. If I drink someone's blood, I can take on that person's appearance. She saw them. The amount of blood determines the duration of my transformation, and I cannot copy their gifts. Izuku. Something like Pandora's actor. He saw Toga, although without being able to use the person's abilities. Ainz. Izuku. Maybe we could use her. Ainz saw it. That guy who attacked the USJ might be looking for more villains to form an army. If she infiltrates, we could gain an advantage over him. Ainz. That's a good idea, Izuku. He stood up. Listen up. The human Hamiko Toga will stay in Nazarick and will be under my protection. Guardians. Yes, Ainz. I expect good results from you. He saw Toga. Toga. Why yes, she said, bowing. Izuku. Albedo. She saw him. Take Toga to Pestonia. Have her take her to a room and give her something to eat. Albedo. Understood. He nodded and left wearing his toga. With them. Toga. It seems they don't like humans. Albedo. That's right, walking. Toga. But he's human, isn't he? Albedo. Yes, we believe that humans are inferior beings. She glanced at her, but Izuku is very different from the rest of humanity. She arrived with Pestonia. He thinks you can be valuable, so it yields good results. She left. Pestonia. This way. Wow, she said, leading her to a room. Toga. Hey, does Izuku have a girlfriend? Pestonia. For the moment not. He saw her, but he gets along very well with a friend of hers and apparently they will soon be a couple. Toga. I understand. Pestonia. Although, a ruler can't have just one wife. She looked at her, but she thinks that for the moment you're of low rank. So do well on your missions and maybe you can get closer to him. She arrived at the room. This will be his room. Later I'll bring him something to eat. Wow. Toga. Thank you. Pestonia left. Izuku. He's very cute, smiled. Finally, the day of the UA Sports Festival had arrived, and although it was a cloudy day, I felt excited and happy. Mike. Welcome to the UA Sports Festival. Is everyone ready to begin? Public. Yes. Mike. That's the spirit. Alright, it's time for our freshmen to enter. So welcome to the Hero Course, Class 1A. Audience. EHHH. They shouted excitedly. All the students in Class A entered the stadium. Mike. But that's not all, also welcome Class 1B. Mike. Then we have the general education classes, C, D, and E. Izuku and his class entered the stadium. Then we have the support courses, classes F, G, and H. Mike. And last but not least, the business course, classes I, J, and K. The classes entered the stadium. Mike. All UA. First-year students are here. The audience cheered excitedly. Alright, let's get this festival started. The famous +18 heroine known as Midnight said, arriving at the stadium. Male audience. Oh, is Miss Midnight this year's referee? Hooray. Aizawa. Hey Midnight, don't forget the important announcement, he said into the microphone and she nodded. Midnight. Taking the microphone, before we begin the sports festival, we have an important announcement. He said to the attentive audience. First, I have to say something to the heroes present. Don't even think about attacking the director's guest, he said seriously, confusing the heroes a little. A portal appeared next to Midnight, where she stepped aside. Shaltir emerged from the portal, went to Midnight, and gave her the microphone. Shaltir. Welcome the supreme being and ruler of the great tomb of Nazarick. The heroes became serious and paid attention. The sorcerer king, Ainz Ooal. One step was enough for everyone to feel a horrible pressure upon them. They saw the ruler of Nazarick emerge alongside the guardians before their very eyes. Shaltir. Here you go, Lord Ainz. She hands him the microphone. Ainz takes it. I introduce myself. I am Ainz Ooal, ruler of Nazarick. The audience looked at him fearfully. Please, remain calm. I have no intention of fighting. Like you, I simply want to enjoy this sports festival. The crowd calmed down a bit. Ainz. But before you begin, let me add this weather control. He said, raising his hand to the sky. Weather control. Everyone watched as the clouds disappeared so that the sun could appear, shining with warmth. Audience. Did the weather change? Is that even possible? How did he do it? They shouted in surprise. Ainz. Here you go, he gave the microphone to Midnight. Midnight. Gee, thank you, he saw it. The robots will take you to your seats, he said and pointed to the robots. Ainz. Understood. He saw the students looking at him with fear and surprise. Good luck to everyone, he said as he followed the robots along with the guardians. People just stared at him as he went to his seat. Victim. I'm glad to be here to witness the power of the young lord. Victim. Guardian of the 8th floor of Nazarick. Race. Heteromorphic angel. Mayor. I hope things go well for the young man. Aura. There's no doubt he'll win, she said with a smile. He's created several versions of the lightning dragon. Demiurge. Although I know the young man will win, I'm curious about the quirks of the other students, he said, looking at the students. At the stadium. Midnight. Thank you to Mr. Gown for your presentation, she said into the microphone. Now, a few words from the first-year representative, Katsuki Bakugo. Izuku. Oh no. Bakugo went up on stage and stood in front of the microphone. Bakugo. I swear, I'm going to win. Classes. Ah, what do you think you are? Show off. Bakugo. Extras shouldn't talk, he said as he went back to his place. Shinso. How conceited, he saw Izuku, don't you think? Izuku. Don't worry, I'll beat him up. Smiled. Midnight. Thank you very much for that speech. Anyway, let's begin with the first event, obstacle course. Announcement. Midnight. It's a race between all 11 classes. The route is 4 kilometers around the stadium. You can use your quirks however you want as long as you stay within the route. Now everyone to the exit route. Everyone went to the exit route. Midnight. Are you ready? Start. Shout to start the race. Everyone started running, but due to the large number of students, they were blocked at the exit. Izuku. This is too narrow. But then he felt the ground freeze. What? I don't have time to waste here, he said, using his quirk to start running. Izuku. That must be Todoroki, according to what Ochako told me. Bakugo. Your trick won't work on me, you bastard. He said, flying away with his explosions. Kirishima. I won't let you get ahead, Todoroki. He said, running after him. Todoroki. Obviously some of my classmates managed to evade my ice, but I didn't think several of them could. Suddenly a purple dwarf was hit by a robot. Izuku. Wow, robots. Multiple targets detected. Izuku. The robots Ochako fought. Good, he smiled. Mike. That's right. They're in the first test. The Inferno. Several robots appeared, and some 0 points also appeared. Yaoyorozu. Where do they get the funding for this stuff? I asked incredulously. Todoroki. They should have at least tried harder if they wanted to get in my way, he thought as he touched the ground. That damn old man is watching me. He sent out a huge amount of ice, freezing a 0 point. Boy. Did you see that? He cleared the way for us. We can go through. Todoroki. I don't know, I recommend them. I froze him in an unbalanced position, he said, running. They'll fall to pieces. The robot began to fall, colliding with other 0 points. Mike. Todoroki Shoto from Class 1A has blocked the path and now has a huge advantage. That seems a little unfair. Elsewhere, Ochako and some of her companions reached a great precipice. Mike. Alright ladies. If you think the first obstacle was child's play, how about this one? I asked, if you fall, you're out. We call it the fall. Before they could do anything, Izuku came running towards them. Izuku. Hello Ochako. Goodbye Ochako. He shouts as he jumps off the cliff. Ochako. Izuku. She cried out in worry. But then they saw a whip made of electricity attach itself to the rope, and then they saw Izuku swinging along it. Izuku. Haha, I'll see you on the other side. He shouts to Ochako. Suyu. Kiro. Jumps onto the rope to start going for it. It's easy for me, Kiro. Hatsume went through the ranks thanks to his inventions. Ochako. I can't lose here, she said, shaking off the gravity. Mina. This isn't my element. On the other side of the precipice. Todoroki and Bakugo arrived at an empty courtyard where they stopped instinctively. Mike. And we've reached the final obstacle, the minefield. Prepare your eyes and ears or you'll be blown up. I comment euphorically, and don't worry, they're not lethal. Todoroki. I see, this obstacle was designed to slow down whoever is in front, he thought as he walked cautiously. Bakugo. Ha ha ha, this is nothing to me. He propelled himself with his explosions. You declared war on the wrong guy. Mike. And the head has changed. Rejoice, media. These are tense moments and boom. A huge explosion occurred at the entrance to the minefield, where everyone saw someone flying out. Ochano. Izuku. She screamed upon seeing him on a metal plate. Izuku. I didn't think it would actually work. Screams at the speed. It continued flying past Bakugo and Todoroki. Todoroki. What? He saw Izuku. Bakugo. 2. Izuku. Goodbye Bakugo, he said mockingly as he passed them. Mike. Izuku Gown takes the lead. Bakugo. Don't you dare go ahead of me, he said furiously as he flew away with his explosions. Izuku. And what do you think I'm doing? I asked. Todoroki. Using his quirk I would clear the way for the others, but this is more important, he said, freezing the ground and sliding across it. Mike. Bakugo and Todoroki have stopped fighting to catch up with Gown. Izuku. I'm already falling for it. I hope your idea works. Hamusuk *, he spins in the air and hits the mines with the metal plate. Boom. Everyone saw the explosion, but a few seconds later they saw a large ball of electricity moving at high speed. Izuku. Lightning Dragon. Wrecking Ball, he said inside the ball of electricity. Mike. Gown turned into a hamster ball and is speeding towards the finish line. Why isn't this kid in the hero class? It's awesome. Aizawa. I can't deny that. Mike. And the winner of this first event is General Studies Izuku Gown. Izuku. Dissolving the sphere, yes. I'm going to throw up, covered his mouth. Albedo. Impressive, surprised by Izuku's techniques. Shultier. I knew I would win, but I never imagined I would do that, surprised. Kokitis. Incredible. In second and third place, Todoroki and Bakugo arrived, panting from the effort. Bakugo. Damn it, he punches the ground. Todoroki. Saw Izuku in a serious manner. Ochako. Izuku, that was amazing. I didn't know you could do that, she said. arriving very tired, as was Iida. Izuku. I've been practicing it during my free weeks hehe. The other students began to arrive where Midnight announced to the 42 who were still at the event. Midnight. The 42 at the top have achieved the milestone of advancing. And for the second event. Although I know it's going to be tough for you, the suspense is killing me. Cavalry Battle. Ainz. A cavalry battle. Curious. The cavalry battle had ended with Izuku's team as the winner. Now, after a break, all the students were at the stadium to find out what the next event would be. Midnight. And the next event is 1 vs 1 matches. Announcement: the rules are simple. You must knock out your opponent or throw them out of the ring to win. Mike. And here are the first fights, he said so that it would be shown on the screen. Iida, Hatsume, Shiozaki, Kaminari, Gaon, Yaoyorozu, Shinso, Tokiyami, Todoroki, Shiro, Bakugo, Uraraka, Hiroshima, Tetsu, Bakugo, Uraraka, Ochako. He, frightened, Izuku, Yaoyorozu. He saw the dark-haired girl in the distance. If I'm not mistaken, her quirk allows her to create things. Later, the first match had begun, being Shinso vs. Tokiyami. Unfortunately, Shinso lost because he couldn't mentally control Dark Shadow. Shinso. Rayos, Sentandos. Izuku. You did well, I'd say. Shinso. Thank you. Mike. The next match. Shoto Todoroki vs. Honta Shiro. Damn, I already feel like I'm going to lose, but... Midnight. Start. Shiro quickly tied Todoroki up with his tapes. Shiro. I won't lose either. He exclaimed, trying to throw him out of the ring but... Freezy. A huge iceberg had been created by the bicolor that almost covered the entire stadium, leaving Mike speechless. Ainz. Via. Aura. I humiliate him, looking at Shiro. Cocytus. Not bad, exhaled cold air. Todoroki broke the tapes that had been frozen, while Shiro remained immobile due to the ice. Midnight. Frozen in half. Shiro, can you still move? Shiro. What do you think? He said coldly. Todoroki. Sorry, I exaggerated a bit, he said as he began to melt the ice. I was in a bad mood. Shiro. Don't worry. Midnight. Todoroki advances to the second round. Then came the battle between Shiozaki and Kaminari, where the girl managed to defeat the blonde boy after he became overloaded from using his quirk, capturing him with her vines. The next battle was Iida against Hatsume, where the latter used it to promote her babies to the companies watching the festival. After doing so she left the ring on her own. Izuku. I expected it, though not like this. With a drop of sweat. Well, it's my turn. Shinso. Suerte Izuku, say few. Mike. We continue with the next match, the general studies student who surprised us all with his skills. Izuku Gaon. Izuku entered the ring against a young woman from the hero class, from class 1A. Yaoyorozu moments. Momo entered the ring. Izuku. Hey, I get Momo's attention. I already know how your quirk works, so how about we fight with swords? Momo. Why that request? She saw it. Izuku. You've seen how I use my electricity. I wouldn't give you time to create anything. He saw her. She thought about it for a few seconds but finally agreed, created 2 wooden swords, and gave one to Izuku. Midnight. Ready. Begin. He cracked his whip. Thus began a sword duel between the two. Everyone watched the fight attentively to see who would win. Cocytus. Watching Momo fight, she doesn't have bad technique, but she still has a long way to go. Mare. Mr. Izuku is holding back a lot, looking at Izuku. Demiurge. That makes sense. If that girl fought seriously she wouldn't last long. Everyone continued watching the fight, waiting to see how Izuku made a move to make Momo drop her sword. He grabbed it and attacked Momo with both swords, knocking her down. Before he could get up, Izuku placed both swords close to his face and body. Momo. Laughing at me. Midnight. Yaoyorozu surrenders. Gaon advances to the next round. The audience celebrated. Izuku. Good fight, helps her up. Momo. Likewise, she said as she left. The next match was Ochako against Bakugo. Unfortunately, Ochako lost and was left somewhat injured before being taken to Recovery Girls. Shinso. showed no mercy. He saw Izuku with an angry look. Are you okay, Izuku? Yes, I think it's my turn. He got up and left. As she walked through the corridors, she ran into Endeavor. Endeavor. So you're the boy who will face my son. He looked at him. Izuku. Yes, why do you ask? He saw him. Endeavor. He's been a bit rebellious lately. I want you to make him use his side. Izuku. Excuse me, Endeavor. He was created to surpass All Might. If he doesn't use his fire side, he'll never be able to do it. Izuku. Are you telling me you couldn't surpass All Might, and you want your son to do it for you? That's pathetic. Endeavor looked at him seriously. Izuku. Oh, I couldn't surpass All Might, so my son will because I'm too pathetic to do it. Endeavor. Damned kid clenched his fist. But his anger stopped when he heard a footstep behind him. He felt a horrible pressure and stepped back a little to see Demiurge. Demiurge. Oh, I apologize. He saw them. I was looking for the bathroom and I think I got lost. Endeavor. He's one of those who comes with that skeleton. What is this pressure? Asterisk. Izuku. They're over there, sir, he said, pointing in the direction. Demiurge. Thank you, and good luck in your fight. He smiled and glanced sideways at Endeavor. Izuku. Well, if you have nothing more to say to me, I'll leave. He left. Endeavor. How come I can talk so calmly with that guy? Watching Izuku walk away, Izuku just smiled. Mike. Let's begin with the next fight, the son of the number 2 hero. Shoto Todoroki. Introducing Todoroki versus the general studies student who has surprised us all. Izuku Gown. They both climbed into the ring and looked at each other seriously. Midnight. Are you ready? He saw Izuku and Todoroki and begin. Todoroki quickly launched a powerful ice attack, trapping Izuku in the Mike. That was fast. But did he manage to beat him? They all saw the iceberg for a few seconds, then heard banging from the inside. The ice flew away, finally revealing Izuku wielding whips of electricity. Izuku. Compared to the cold on the 6th floor, it's not so bad. With his whips, he grabbed large pieces of ice and threw them at Todoroki, who blocked them with a wall of ice. Izuku continued throwing pieces of ice, and Todoroki continued strengthening his wall. Mayor, it's incredible how he uses the variations he created of the lightning dragon watching Izuku throw the ice blocks. Aura. Yes, she's created many variations of that spell watching the fight. I wonder if she's created more variations of other spells. Curious. Ainz. Knowing him well, he may have done it. Izuku used a short attack to cut the ice wall in half, and with another long attack, he grabbed Todoroki and began electrocuting him. Todoroki. Scream of pain. Izuku threw his other whip, tying him up completely. Everyone was waiting to find out what was happening. Izuku. Well, I think it's best if you give up. He tightened his grip. Todoroki tried to send more ice, but the pain wouldn't let him. Izuku. Come on, I don't want to increase the power, dude. He saw him. Todoroki, due to the pain, could barely create any ice. Todoroki. Tisk. Izuku looked at him for a moment. Izuku. You know, Endeavor spoke to me. Todoroki saw him. He told me to make you use your fire, he said, glancing at Endeavor in the stands. Todoroki. Do I pay you? He saw him. Izuku. PFF'd. I told him it was pathetic for wanting to fulfill his dream through you. He saw it, but I know a way for you to completely mess it up. Todoroki looked at him. Izuku. Get out of the hero class, he said, looking at Todoroki. He wants you to surpass All Might and become the number 1 hero. Even if you don't use your fire side and you become number 1, he looked at him, you'll fulfill his goal. Todoroki. He thought for a moment. Izuku. But if you leave the hero class you'll completely ruin his plans, he'll lose out and you can go on with your life. He saw him. Or tell me, why do you want to be a hero? Todoroki. Yo. Suddenly, flames erupted from Todoroki's body, causing Izuku to back away and remove his whips in the process. Izuku. Yes. The fire continued to grow in all its splendor, and Endeavor watched it with wide eyes and a big smile on his face. Endeavor. Shot. You're finally abandoning your rebellious ways to fulfill your destiny. A cold stare from Izuku silenced him completely. Izuku, how annoying, he saw Todoroki, so are you leaving the hero class? Todoroki, no, I want to be a hero. I don't care if I surpass All Might or not, he saw him, this is my power and I'll do whatever I want with it, he said, increasing his flames and ice. I'm not going to fulfill his stupid dream. I'm going to fulfill mine. Izuku smiled, let's finish this. His electricity increased and now surrounded his entire body. Smentos. Midnight shouts to use his quirk to stop them. Midnight tore his suit, letting the pink smoke out towards them. Todoroki sent a large amount of ice towards Izuku, who jumped and started running towards it. Todoroki saw Izuku, thank you, whispered as he unleashed his flames. Boom! A huge explosion erupted in the arena, sending Midnight and the cement walls flying through the air. Mike. That was an explosion. But who I asked. Everyone watched as the smoke began to dissipate, revealing Izuku with his shirt torn but still standing. And Todoroki, lying on the ground, completely unconscious. Midnight. Todoroki, he's knocked out. The winner is the young gown. I declare. The crowd roared with excitement as Izuku's family smiled at his victory. They wanted to shout with excitement too, but that might attract attention. Although in the tomb of Nazarick, the Pleiades, servants, and other creatures were celebrating and shouting with excitement over the victory of their future ruler. Lupus Regina. She won. Scream of excitement while carrying CZ and spinning her around. Narberl. There are still a few fights left before he wins the festival, he said. Yuri is right, we still have to wait for the next fights. Intoma. Even so, we know he's going to win. After taking Izuku and Todoroki to the infirmary, they then repaired the ring. Then the fighting continued. These continued until they reached the final with Izuku and Bakugo. Mike. Alright, everyone. We've reached the long-awaited final. Shouts, exciting the audience. On one side, we have the explosive boy, Katsuki Bakugo. Bakugo climbed onto the sand. Mike. And on the other side, the general studies student, Izuku Gown. Izuku entered with a hateful glare towards Bakugo. Shultier. Izuku was angry, looking at Izuku. Aura. Of course, she saw how that boy Bakugo hurt her Ochako, she said while eating some popcorn. This popcorn isn't bad. Mayor. I feel a little sorry for that Bakugo boy. Demiurge. Even I feel sorry for him. Cocytus. It's over, exhaled cold air. Midnight. Ready. Begin. He cracked a whip in the air. Bakugo. I'm going to defeat you like that stupid round face. He quickly propelled himself towards Izuku with his explosions. But Izuku only took one step, and everyone except his family felt a horrible pressure upon them. Bakugo. Stopping what? They all swore they saw the same thing in the arena, a huge, monstrous shadow looming over Izuku. Everyone saw how that shadow began to approach Bakugo, who was completely still from shock. When the shadow reached him, it began to open its mouth with the intention of eating Bakugo. But when he took the bite, everyone saw Bakugo fly off and crash into the stadium walls. They could only see a burn on his chest and Izuku with his hand outstretched, crackling with electricity. Midnight. Comes out of shock. Bakugo, he's out of the ring. Gown is the winner, I declare. At the tomb of Nazarick, everyone began to celebrate the victory of their young lord. The crowd recovered from their shock and began to applaud the victory. Kaminari. What was that? He asked, somewhat scared. Kirishima. Ni idea. Ochako Miraba Izuku. Ochako. He was angry. I've never seen him like that for some reason, she didn't feel much of that pressure. Minutes later. Midnight. And here are the top 3 from the UA. Sports Festival. Announcement for reporters to take photos. On the podium were Izuku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. Midnight. And to present the medals we have. All Might. This one landed a few meters behind Midnight, making people scream with excitement. I'm here to hand out medals, he said, taking the medals and approaching the boys. Approaching Todoroki. Congratulations, young Todoroki, you are strong, but you must learn to accept yourself and your power, she said, placing the medal on him. Todoroki. I understand. approached Bakugo. Congratulations on reaching the semifinals. You've shown great strength, young Bakugo. I hope you learn from your defeat and improve. Bakugo. Tisk, I put the medal on her. And young Gown approached Izuku. Well, you've shown a lot of talent today along with an incredible killer aura, no offense. Izuku. Don't worry, and I'm sorry about that. I was angry because I hurt my friend a lot. He glanced at Bakugo. I understand, even so you shouldn't let anger get the better of you. Izuku nodded. Congratulations on winning the UA Sports Festival. Handed him the medal. Izuku. Thank you very much. He gave a small bow. Then they heard applause from someone approaching, and saw Ainz and the Guardians coming towards them. Ainz. Stopping applauding. That was an incredible demonstration, young people. AM stood in front of them. What's wrong? Can't I congratulate you? He just made sure I didn't do anything to them. Ainz. Ha ha ha, there's nothing to worry about. He saw him. I don't intend to harm anyone here. Well, only if you give me the cities of Hosu and Kamino, obviously. He said. And why would we give them to you? He looked at him seriously. Ainz. Believe me, All Might, it's better if they give them to me peacefully. You don't want me to hurt anyone, do you? Looked at him seriously. I'm here to save people from you. Ainz. Well, how about we fight now? Everyone. They shouted upon hearing Ainz. Ainz. What are you saying? He saw What happens if I win? He looked at him seriously. Ainz. If you win, I will leave the cities of Kamino and Hosu and their people in peace. He looked at him. And in case anything happens to me, my people will not attack anyone. He looked at the Guardians. I can promise in writing if you like, he said to What if I lose? Ainz. Things will remain the same. You will have to hand over the cities of Kamino and Hosu to me within 1 month. He looked at him. What do you think? He extended his hand. Okay, he said, shaking her hand. Ainz. It's a deal. Minutes later, with the stadium now ready, both were in their places to begin the fight. Small P. Are you ready? He saw that AM was preparing and Ainz was standing motionless with some kind of wooden mace. I hope I can defeat him, he said to Aizawa, and begin. At incredible speed, AM speed, he went towards Ainz, who was still motionless. SMAAASHHH. A great curtain of earth was created upon impact. People began to celebrate, thinking that with that, he would be defeated. I hope that was enough. Then he glanced at the guards who were just smiling. What, Ainz? Haha, you definitely deserve the title of Symbol of Peace. His voice silenced the crowd, and when the earth cleared, they saw Ainz still standing and completely unharmed. Ainz. To admit that was very impressive. He saw it and then saw the people in the stands celebrating without even knowing if the opponent was actually beaten. How foolish. Then he raised his arm and struck AM with the mace, sending him flying and dragging him across the ground. Ainz. You undoubtedly deserve to be the symbol of peace, All Might. You transmit confidence and security to people, and inspire many, both future and current heroes. Ainz. But you're still human. He saw him getting up. I think this phrase applies to you. If you can make God bleed, his people will stop believing in him. Everyone looked scared and worried when they saw Amani's beaten and bleeding face. Ainz. And what happens when you kill God? Lunged at him again. Grasp heart. Just before he touched him, fell to the ground. Midnight sad face. He approached AM and checked him over. Then his face showed fear. All Might, he's dead. He said into the microphone. People, both students and heroes, were in shock and then began to scream in fear. Tamura. Impossible, in shock. Ainz sad face. I take the microphone from Midnight. Now you see him. The power of the Supreme Being, Ainz Ooal, the ruler of Nazarick. Ainz. Now you know what I'm capable of, so I say again, surrender the cities of Kamino and Hosu without a fight. In return, I won't send my army to destroy them, he said to the people who were looking at him in fear. Ainz. Furthermore, I am also known as the Lord of Death, he said, taking out a small scepter with a yellow ball. Death is just a state of being for humans, for me. He used the scepter on the AM. Everyone saw Amani's body, where it began to move. Audience. Impossible. He revived him. What are these people? They shouted, shocked and afraid. A.M.I. tries to get up. Ainz. You'll feel very weak after reviving, he saw it. I advise you to rest. The guardians approached him. You know what I want. So I suggest you hand them over without a fight. A portal opened, they entered, and disappeared from the place. Izuku. He was able to crack Dad's barrier, he thought as he saw his father put up a magical barrier to protect himself from AM's attack. I'm sure it wouldn't have hurt him. But I feel like All Might has more power than he showed today. We have to keep an eye on him. He left. In a bar. There's no doubt. Tamura. We shouldn't consider those people our enemies, not until we find a way to defeat them. Tamura. Yes, sensei. He withstood a hit from One for All as if it were nothing. Even if it wasn't 100%, it's impressive that he endured it. Ainz Ooal. What kind of monster are you? So this is the tomb of Nazarick. Viewing the tomb from afar, I don't think it's just that, it must be bigger than it looks. Based on what I saw at the sports festival, I hope Mr. Destro knows what he's doing. What kind of people will be there? Curious. This will be a great story, he said with a smile, taking some photos of the tomb of Nazarick. A 6-year-old Izuku was in the throne room. He sat down and looked up, noticing some flags with some names on them. Izuku's sad face reads a flag, but Ron. Chino. Just then Ainz arrived where he saw him. Ainz. What are you doing, Izuku? Looking at him. Izuku. Dad gets off the throne. What are those flags? He points at them. Ainz's sad face. She sat down. Oh, those are the names of my old classmates. She picked him up and sat him on her lap. Izuku. Your colleagues. He looked at him curiously. Ainz. That's right, together we created the great tomb of Nazarick. Izuku. Oh. Ainz raised his hand and pointed to a flag. Ainz. Ahi esta touch me, Nishiki Enrai, Takimikazuki, Peroroncino, Buki Bukuchigama, Alberta Lon Odal, Yamaiko, Punidmo, Tabula Smaragdina, Wish LLL, Ancient One, Flat Flute, Amano Mahitosu, Blue Planet, Garnet, Bell River, Variable Talisman, Nagaria, Generics, Whitetail, New Bestie, Beast Menkongwa, Tegris Euphrates, Temperance, Lucy Star Fair, Ankuro Mochi Mochi, Shijuden Suzaku, Coup de Grace. He said this while pointing to each person's flag. Izuku. And where are they now? He saw him. Ainz. I'm afraid they are no longer with us. Although Izuku knew that his father didn't show many emotions, he would somehow know that he was somewhat sad. Izuku. Dad, can you tell me stories about your classmates? He looked at him with a smile. Ainz. He saw him, of course. Izuku. He stroked him. Let's see. And so he began to tell her several stories about himself and his companions. Ainz's sad face. Note that Izuku fell asleep. Hey, it seems he liked them. Pesto's sad face. Arriving. Oh, so here he was. Wow. Saw Izuku. Oh, he fell asleep. I'll take him to his bed, Lord Ainz. Ainz. Sure, he said, handing the phone to Izuku. Pesto. He picked up Izuku. With your permission. He bowed and left. Izuku was returning from kindergarten and was now on his way to his room, but as he walked he was trying a trick with his fingers. Izuku. I think it was like this. Without realizing it, she bumped into Narbarrel. Oh, sorry Nabe. She saw her. Narbarrel. Don't worry, he saw it. What are you doing? He saw him doing something with his hands. Izuku. Ochako taught me a trick with her hands. Look, she said, putting her hands together and separating her left thumb from her hand. Ta-da. That trick. Narbarrel fell to the ground unconscious. Izuku. I think she was sleepy. Well, I hope she wakes up soon. She took her sweater from her backpack and used it to cover Narbarrel. Rest well, Nabe. She left. Izuku's sad face. While walking, he saw Shultir. Hello Shultir. Shultir. Hello, sir, how can I help you? He saw him. Izuku. Well, it seems Nabe is very sleepy, or so I think. I just did this. She did the trick and she fell asleep. Shultir's sad face, he saw Izuku's hand, without his thumb. Ah. He fell unconscious. Izuku. Huh, she saw her. Are you sleepy too? She said, taking off her hat and using it as a pillow to sleep on. I should tell Dad to let them sleep a little longer. In Ainz's office, Izuku, entering, Dad. He saw him sitting down reviewing some papers with Demiurge and Albedo. Ainz's sad face, he saw him. What's wrong, Izuku? Izuku. I think Shultir and Nabe couldn't sleep well. Ainz saw it. Ainz. Because you said so. Izuku. Well, I think that's it, because they only fell to the ground after I showed them this. He did the trick. Albedo. Why Demiurge? A shock. Albedo. Izuku, your finger. Terrified scream. Demiurge. Pastonia, the young man is hurt. She shouted as she quickly left the room. Ainz. I never thought I'd see them like this. Surprised. I think they got scared by your trick. Looked at Izuku. Izuku. Huh. Confused. Ainz. They think your finger really separated from your hand. We'll explain later, don't worry. Izuku. Alright. After an explanation to the Guardians, everyone calmed down upon learning that Izuku had not lost his finger. Izuku and Mei were in his fake house, testing out a new invention of Mei's. Izuku. Is it really going to work? He said, holding a rocket pack. Mei. Of course. He said smiling. Now let's turn it on. He took out the remote control. 1, 2, 3, take off. He pressed it. Izuku began to rise about 3 meters. Izuku. Wow. Mei. Try to move around a little. He saw it. Izuku. Okay. He leaned forward slightly. Just then, Yuri came out to see how they were. Yuri. Huh. He saw Izuku. I admit those inventions are very interesting. He saw smoke coming out of the rocket backpack. Without thinking, I jumped up, grabbed Izuku, took his backpack, and threw it into the air. Boom. The backpack exploded, and luckily it wasn't a very big explosion. Yuri. I landed. Are you okay? He saw Izuku. Izuku. Yes, you mom saw her. Mei. It seems that fuel didn't work. He saw Izuku. I'll try another type of fuel. Izuku. Please make it a working one. Yuri lowered it. Mei. Okay, I'm leaving now. She grabbed her backpack. See you later. She said goodbye to Izuku and left. Yuri. Although most of his inventions explode, he eventually manages to make them work. Izuku. She learns from her mistakes to improve her inventions, eventually making them even better than they already are. Yuri. Yes, well, dinner's ready, let's eat. Looked at Izuku, or else Lupus Regina will eat the katsudon. Izuku. Let's go. I take her hand and go into the house. Curious. Okay, remember to get all the information you can, she said, looking at least 25 people in front of her. Chito's Kazuki. Curious. Most people had quirks that allowed them to camouflage themselves or others. Some also had quirks that allowed them to be silent, so they could enter undetected. Curious. Very well, go ahead. He gave the signal for them to enter. Thus they advanced until they entered the tomb of Nazarick, where they began to walk through the corridors. Curious. How are things going in there, Skeptic? He saw it on the computer. Skeptic. Everything seems to be going well. The cameras are still working, he said, looking at the camera screens the squads had, although it seems to be deeper, so we might lose signal. But then a bright light appeared on one of the cameras. Skeptic. What? He looked at the screen. What was that light? Curious stood beside him. What's going on in there? He asked through the intercom. Type 1 inch. It seems we were transported to another room, he said. Tipo 2. I can't see anything, it's very dark. Type 3. We have to get out of here. I try to walk, but when I do I hear a creaking sound. Huh. Then a red light was seen in the distance. Question mark, question mark, question mark. No, escape will be useless. Type 1. Who's there? The 3 guys saw a figure emerge from below. Tip 2. What? Kyuhuko. I am Kyuhuko, who manages this area by order of Lord Ainz and the young master. The men saw how they were surrounded by thousands of cockroaches. Kyuhuko. Thanks to the villains the young master captures, my family no longer has to resort to cannibalism. He saw them, so according to his orders, we will take our time to eat. Just then, one of the guys shot at him with a gun, but Kyuhuko covered himself with his cloak. Kyuhuko. It's a shame there are only 3, but please fill my family's stomachs. Type 3. What? All the cockroaches swarmed them. Skeptic. What the hell was that? I lost signal with Squadron 1. Curious. What about the others? He saw it and the screen changed, but all they could see was a torture chamber. Where are they? Then they heard a voice. Oh, are you awake yet? Type 1. What? He opened his eyes, seeing in front of him. Type 1. Oh, wow, there's no need to go crazy with fear, she said while caressing his face. Type 1. Let me go, she said, about to use her quirk, but, my quirk, I should have mentioned that you have those anti-quirk handcuffs. I must admit that Toga girl did a good job infiltrating the police and getting them, she saw it. So, you were captured by us. You must already know that this is the great tomb of Nazarick, the most honorable place in the world, he said, where the great Lord Ainz Ooal and his son Izu, that is, Spectra, rule. Neuronist. I am the special information collector of the Nazarick tomb, Neuronist. Well, some also call me torturer. The guy just got more scared. Neuronist. The young Master Spectra asked me to extract all the information possible from you, and to do it by any means necessary, he said, taking out a metal stick with a small spiked sphere. Neuronist. The supreme being who created me suffered from something called kidney stones. As a sign of respect for that, how about we begin with this? He saw it. If you want to show some mercy to the young love, I suggest you start talking. Type. Outside of Nazarick. Skeptic. Another one lost. Tisk. He saw another screen but just then saw one being killed by a skeleton with armor and a giant mace with rays. We must get them out of there. Somehow they knew we were coming. Curious. Damn, how did they know? Hours before, Izuku was on his way back to Nazarick after saying goodbye to Ochako, as she was starting her internship. As he walked, he saw all the people near Nazarick, so he turned invisible and approached, keeping some distance. Curious. Prepare the squads and cameras, we must gather all possible information for the rescue. Izuku. So they're trying to get into Nazarick, damn them. Present. She and Skeptic could only watch as all the squads were eliminated. Skeptic. We have to go, if they find out we're out here they'll come for us. Closed his laptop. Curious. Okay. Then they turned around, but just then they saw Mare in front of them. Large. Are you the ones in charge of this? Skeptic. He's one of those who were with that skeleton, but he just looks like a child. Curious. Oh, of course not, little one. He quickly grabbed a rock from the ground and threw it at Mare, where the rock exploded upon impact. Run. Curious's quirk. Landmine. Her quirk allows Chitos to turn everything she touches into an explosive that can be detonated at will. They were both about to run, but just then Mare struck each of them in the leg with her cane, breaking them. Skeptic. Why curious? They fell to the ground. Large. See, come on, she said, grabbing them by the hair. I must take you before Lord Ainz, she said, starting to walk. Skeptic. Sad face. Scared. Let me go, you damn kid. Tries to break free. Curious. Let me go, she screams in fear, trying to grab something to use her quirks on. Large. Come on, I mustn't keep Lord Ainz waiting, he said, walking. And so I led them to the tomb of Nazarick. Later. Ainz. Are they all intruders? He saw Albedo. Albedo. That's right, Mr. Ainz, he nodded. Those in charge of the squads are with Neuronist to extract information from them. Izuku. Red Resto. Tisk. He made a big mistake messing with Nazarick. Ainz. Relax, Izuku, we'll give him what he deserves soon. Izuku nodded. By the way, how's Shultier's mission going in Hosu? Albedo. Albedo. In his latest report, he said he had eliminated several villainous gangs in that city. Ainz. Well, I don't want those villains in our future territories. Hosu. Shultier was walking through the alleys looking for villains until she saw a young man with blue hair. If she remembered correctly, she saw him at the sports festival and his name was Iida. And on top of him was another guy dressed like some kind of ninja with swords, one of them about to stab him. Just as he was about to stab Iida, he stopped when he saw Shultier. Who are you? Shultier. Sad face. She looked behind her. Oh, were you talking to me? she said, bowing. I am Shultir Bloodfallen. Iida saw her and was startled to remember her. Shultir. And who are you? He saw him. Stain. The hero killer Stain, he said, pointing one of his swords at her. Have you come to help him? Shultir. I've actually come to eliminate the villains of Hosu City. You're a villain, aren't you? Stain. Don't compare me to those idiots, he said, lunging at her. Just as he was about to cut her throat, Stain opened his eyes in surprise as he saw her catch the sword with her hand. Shultir. And I thought tonight would be boring, I smile in a macabre way. Shultir. And to think that tonight would be boring, he said, stopping Stain's sword with his hand. Stain. Tisk, he dropped the sword and stepped back a little. Do you intend to kill me? Shultir. To be honest, I'm rather busy eliminating the villain gangs in this city. Stain saw her. As long as you don't get in my way, I won't kill you. He saw Iida trembling. Anyway, I'm leaving, he said, starting to walk. Stain. Well, he took his sword and approached Iida. It seems we won't be interrupted. He prepared to stab him. But just then a trash can hit him. Stop right there, Stain. Shultir's sad face. He stopped. That voice. He turned around. Iida. Uraraka. Surprised shout. Stain. Tisk. More trouble, he said irritably. Iida. Get out of here. Ochako. I'm not going anywhere. I grab a trash can lid and throw it at Stain using my quirk. Stain. What a nuisance. He lunged at Uraraka, but just then Shultir stepped in front of her. Stain. You asked for it. He began to attack with his swords. But she only deflected them with her fingernail while yawning. Shultir's sad face. He took a sword and destroyed it. I didn't intend to kill you, but thinking about it, you'll be a problem for Lord Ainz. Stain stepped back a little. Then Stain dodged a flame coming from Todoroki that had arrived. Ochako. Todoroki. He saw him. Todoroki. I received your message, Uraraka. She saw Stain and then Shultir. Looks like this is going to get complicated. Stain. There are too many of them. Tisk, I'll have to let them go this time, he said, turning to leave. Ochako. Iida. It was with him. Are you okay? Iida. Why? Why did you interfere in my fight? She said somewhat angrily. Shultir. A fight. I only saw how pathetically he was about to kill you, he said, looking at him. Todoroki. It's not time to relax yet, Uraraka, she said, her fist ablaze as she looked at Shultir. Shultir. Relax, I don't intend to fight you. He looked at them. I have a mission to eliminate the villain gangs in this city. He started rubbing. And if you'll excuse me, I must find and eliminate that Stain. He was about to leave but stopped and saw them. Shultir. I shouldn't give them this, but I'll spare them this time. She pulled a vial of red liquid from a small portal. Catch it. She threw it to Uraraka. Ochako's sad face. He caught it and saw the jar. Blood. Shultir. It's a healing potion. Your friend should drink it and it will heal his wounds. He looked at Iida. Don't worry, I'll give you Stain's head as a souvenir, he said as he left. Ochako's sad face. She opened the jar somewhat hesitantly. Here. She offered it to Iida. Todoroki. Are you seriously going to give it to her? It could be poison. She saw it. Ochako. If he really wanted to kill us, he would have done it, she said seriously. Iida. Somewhat uncertain, drank the potion. Iida. My wounds. I noticed they were gone, healed, surprised. Ochako. I'm glad, he said, then slapped him. How could you go against Stain alone? Iida lowered his gaze. You could have died. Iida. I wanted to get revenge for what he did to my brother, he said, looking down. Ochako. I understand, but you can't let yourself be consumed by hatred. That's not what a hero does. He saw it. Iida. You're right, Uraraka. She saw her. I'm sorry. Ochako. Well, we should go back to the heroes. He stood up. Todoroki. Do you really think that girl will find Stain? I asked. While in an alley, Stain was sitting in the. Stain. Damn girl. I couldn't eliminate that fake hero, he said angrily. When I see her I'll kill her. He looked at the sky. Just then he closed his eyes for a few seconds, then opened them and saw. Shultir. Kill me, you. That's funny. I grab him by the neck and start to strangle him. Stain. Damn it. The only one who can kill me is All Might, he said with difficulty, trying to break free from her grip. Shultir. Well, I'm afraid one can't always die the way one wants, I smiled, dying thinking about it, ha ha ha. Shultir's sad face received a message from Izuku. How can I serve you, young master? Izuku. I'm sorry to bother you with your mission, Shultir, he said. Shultir. He said I would never mind. What can I do for you? Izuku. I don't know if you've already been told, but some foolish villains thought they could enter Nazarick and gather information. Shultir. Oh, curiosa. Izuku. We plan to attack the location of their boss, although it would be boring to attack without warning. That's why we sent Aura and Mare to deliver a message. Read Resto any signs of skepticism and curiosity? I asked, holding a glass of wine in my hand. Hanabata. I'm afraid not, sir, he said. We haven't heard from them since they left. Read Resto. I see. Then someone entered the room. Hanabata. Jiden. What's happening? He saw him. The goat sad face breath ah, a dragon. Read Resto. Is the heroine Yukio here? I asked. The goat. I'm afraid it's not her, she said fearfully. Then they saw the dragon pass by where it landed. Read Resto. What? He saw Mare and Aura on the dragon. They are. Tisk. Hanabata turned on a television so he could hear them. Aura. Hello. She greeted the people around her. I am Aura Bella Floor. I come to deliver a message from Lord Ainz Ooal. She cleared her throat. You will pay for trying to enter the tomb of Nazarick. My son, along with part of our army, will come to destroy you. We will give you 1 week to prepare. Aura. And so you can see that this is serious, damn. He saw his brother. Large. Why yes, he said, striking his cane against the ground. A powerful earthquake began to occur, and people in the city began to fall through the enormous cracks that opened up in the ground. After a few minutes the earthquake stopped. Read Resto. Ah, he saw the destruction in surprise. Hanabata. Sir. What do we do? Read Resto. It seems he won't accept any kind of apology. Prepare as many people as possible. He saw it. We are at war against the tomb of Nazarick. They could only watch as Aura and Mare left on the dragon. Izuku and Ainz were in the latter's office preparing everything for the attack against the Liberation Front. Ainz. Then, you will take Aura and her pets as your bodyguards. Izuku. Yes, I was planning to bring Shultir but she's busy with her Hosu mission. Ainz. What about Cocytus? Izuku. According to Curious and Skeptic, there's a guy who controls ice, he said, handing the sheet of information to his father, so it would be dangerous if he used the ice created by Cocytus and his ice maidens. Ain's sad face. Read the sheet. I see, well thought out. Izuku. Besides bringing the Pleiades, I was also thinking of bringing some frost dragons. I was told they haven't appeared in a long time. He saw his father. Ainz. True, they haven't been able to go out for a while. He looked at the sheet, but not everyone will be able to go. Izuku. I made them play a little game to decide who would go. I left the sheets on the desk. Ainz. I understand. And what about the Toga girl? Izuku. She'll be on her recruitment mission for that Shigaraki guy. Ainz nodded. Oh, do you think she could take Gargantua with me? It would help prevent someone from escaping through the other side of the city. Ainz. Sure, I'll tell Albedo activate it. 1 week later. Red Resto was in the tower looking out the windows. Read Resto any sign of that army? He saw Hanabata. Hanabata. Not yet, sir, he said. Read Resto. He continued looking out the window until he felt a very cold breeze. Ah, turn off the air conditioning, it's freezing too much. Hanabata. Ah, sir, the air conditioning isn't on. Read Resto. What? But then they both saw black clouds above the city, then they felt a tremor. Looked back, and their eyes widened in shock. Hanabata. It's enormous. Then they saw the frost dragons fly to the other side of the city, but one approached the tower where Red Resto saw Spectra on top of the dragon. Red Resto. Ainz Ooal Gown's son, saw him. Read Resto. Everyone get ready, he said, and Hanabata nodded to use a radio. He watched as the frost dragon led Spectra to where the others were. And there he saw a huge army of skeletons, death knights, liches, Aura and their pets alongside the Pleiades. Lupus Regina. This will be exciting, he said, watching all the people coming out of the buildings. Spectra. Remember Lupus Regina, you and Solution have an important mission, Solution agreed. Lupus Regina. Of course, we'll get to the tower and obtain all the information the curious human told us. Spectra. Okay. Oh, and leave the rest to me, they all nodded and he just smiled, it's time for this to begin. He raised his hands and from them began to appear a ball of fire that began to grow larger until it reached almost the size of a house. Spectra. All of Japan is watching, he saw Curious with a camera and Skeptic with his laptop a little ways away from them, show what happens when you mess with Nazarick. He launched the great fireball, destroying several buildings in its path until it exploded. With that, the army of Nazarick went straight towards the city. The goat sad face, I send a large amount of ice against some skeletons, they seem endless, I destroyed others. Then a stick was driven right between his feet. The goat. What? He looked up and saw Narbarl rubbing. Narbarl. I will give you the honor of hearing my name, I am Narbarl Gamma, member of the Pleiades, combat servants. The goat. A maid. Don't make me laugh. Narbarl just glared at him angrily, and he trembled slightly. Narbarl's sad face, his staff disappeared, Mr. Spectra ordered me to eliminate you quickly. He said to the goat. Flying isn't her quirk. You're not a normal human. Narbarl. The goat. You and that child are monsters. He sent all the ice he could at Narbarl. Narbarl. How dare you call the son of the Supreme Being a monster? He glared at him furiously, they don't deserve it, but you and your leader should feel honored to be mere pebbles in the path of the Spectra Master. The goat. Small stones. He glared at her furiously. Narbarl. Chain Dragon Lightning. Jitan could only watch in shock as Narbarl's attack destroyed the ice as if it were nothing and headed straight for him. The goat. What the hell are these people? Ah! Scream as I receive the attack. Narbarl. For the moment, that was the most problematic one, he saw Jitan's charred body. I think the undead and the Death Knights can handle the others, but just in case, I'll help them. He left, with Lupus Regina and Solution. These were already at the entrance of the tower. Lupus Regina. Is this it, right? Solution. We must obtain the information that Master Spectra told us, so we must not destroy it yet. Lupus Regina. Okay, she saw people coming out of the tower and going after them while using their quirks, at least we can have some fun while we climb. Solution. It's true. They just smiled sadistically as they went against the people. With Izuku and Aura. Aura. Field finished, he said upon seeing his pets and some frost dragons that had destroyed several buildings and cleared it, creating a kind of ring. Spectra. Thank you, Aura, she saw her, then her pets and the frost dragons. You can leave now, have fun. The frost dragons flew away while destroying some buildings. Aura. Have fun, boys. He said to his pets, and they turned on the people nearby, killing them. You really wanted to have fun. Spectra. You too, Aura, she saw her. Aura. Oh, are you sure? I could help you against that guy, he said. Spectra. Don't worry, I can take on the rest by myself, he looked at her and smiled, just kill anyone who tries to interfere in our fight. Aura. Understood. He took out his bow and went to watch the surroundings. Spectra's sad face, he looked at the sky and noticed something approaching at great speed, oh, it was faster than I thought. Then, a few meters in front of him, the debris fell, and then it got up. Redresto. Damn maids. Spectra. Wow, you've grown up so much, Redresto saw it. It's an honor to meet you, Redresto. I'd say that if you hadn't sent your pathetic people to the Nazarick gambling den. Spectra. Well, I could easily finish you off, stretched, but I want to have a little fun, smiled. Redresto. You'll regret it. It grew back. Riki a Yatsubashi, alias. Redresto. Quirk. Stress, accumulates stress and transforms it into power. The more stress he accumulates, the bigger and stronger he becomes. He jumped and launched himself at Spectra, who was able to create a magical barrier in time, avoiding the blow. Spectra. It's strong and fast for its size. I create whips of electricity where I tie Redresto's arms, electrocuting him in the process. Redresto. Brat. I grab the whips to pull and slam Spectra to the ground, then I start hitting him. When he finished, he took it in his hand and began to squeeze it. Read Resto's sad face, he saw it. Tell me, what is your purpose with this? Spectra. I want to create a country where everyone is accepted, he saw it, a country where no one is rejected because of their quirk. Having it or not, none of that will matter. Where children don't have to suffer any kind of abandonment. Spectra. When Nazarick rules Japan, I will create that. Of course, I may not easily eliminate those things. He began to expel a lot of electricity, but I will do what is best for the citizens. A huge pillar of electricity was seen by the Liberation Front Army and the Nazarick Army. Upon seeing this, the Pleiades quickly flew towards it. Spectra. I think I overdid it with that. He stood up, wincing in pain. I'm not used to using so much electricity. He saw that the top part of his suit was destroyed and also noticed some burns on his body. Red Resto also got up and then listened to his phone, where he answered. Read Resto. What's up, Trumpet? Trumpet, Hanabata. Watch out, Red Resto. It's heading towards you. Read Resto. What? Confused. Trumpet. That giant. He saw Gargantua running towards where Spectra and Red Resto were. That giant is coming for you. Spectra. Well, it's time to try this out. He pulled a sword from a small portal. The sword had a black hilt while the blade was green, but what stood out most were the bright purple symbols on the blade, runes. Spectra. I'd been wanting to try this sword for a while. Read Resto's sad face, he saw it, my power as a means to a good end. He pressed a button on his belt to fulfill Resto's will. Capsules emerged from the remains of the tower and headed towards Red Resto. Spectra saw it. Read Resto. What is this feeling that comes to me in waves? Fear. No, it's not that. The capsule stuck to her body. I can turn fear into power. Asterisk. Read Doctorist. What is it, then? He saw Spectra. Spectra. That doesn't look very comfortable. Read Resto, he saw it. Read Resto. Stress at 150%. Asterisk. He tried to hit him, but saw that Spectra cut off his armored hand with her sword as if it were nothing. Seeing that, he walked away and put some distance between himself and his neighbor. Spectra. At level 150, He saw him and his eyes lit up. Even with that armor he's still fighting the same. He got into an attack stance. Read Resto noticed that the sword began to release electricity, fire, and other elements. Read Resto. If I get out of range, I use the armor's boosters to fly away. Spectra. Die. A huge explosion occurred in the city. All of Japan was in shock as they watched everything that happened on the screens. Read Resto was lying on the ground until he noticed a figure approaching. Spectra. I'm impressed you survived. He saw it, but it seems your legs didn't. He saw that his legs only reached his knees. Spectra. Now you in Japan know it. He approached him, limping slightly as he raised his sword. Trumpet. Red Resto. Shout from the top of the crater. Man. The supreme leader is. Women. No. Trumpet. We must save the supreme leader. He said to the people around him. These were going to go towards them, but. Spectra. On your knees. Shout. Everyone except the people of Nazarick knelt down. Spectra. From what Curious told me. Resto's dream doesn't sound bad. He saw it. Although I'll do it my way. I'll give you a painless death since I enjoy it. Black energy came out of his hand. True death. I touched Red Resto's face and he fell dead. Yuri's sad face. I catch Spectra before he falls. We must go and heal him, young master. Spectra. Sure, tired. Intoma. Why don't I just use, grasp heart, to finish him off quickly? He saw it. Spectra. That would have been boring. Smiles. CZ. What will we do with the surplus people? Spectra. Those with interesting quirks should send them to Demiurge. The others can kill them and distribute them among the inhabitants of Nazarick. They all nodded. So Yuri and Aura took him away while the others did what was asked. A small Izuku was walking through the halls of Nazarick towards his room. Winter vacation had finally begun, and with it a special date. Yuri. What has you so pensive, young Izuku? She said, walking beside him. Izuku. Oh, I was thinking about what to ask Santa for. Yuri. Saint. Confused. Excuse me, but who is this, Saint? Izuku. Santa Claus, don't you know him? She shook her head at him. He's a man dressed in red with a big white beard. If you write him a letter with something you want, he'll bring it to you at Christmas. Yuri. Christmas. Izuku. It's a holiday. First comes Christmas Eve on the 24th, and then Christmas Day on the 25th. Yuri. I see, so is it a party or something? Izuku. Yes, it's a party. Yuri. Interesting. I should tell Mr. Ainz. He said. Izuku. Right, you should tell him and have everyone write a letter to Santa. I go into his room. Yuri. Okay. He said, bowing and walking towards Ainz. After a few minutes, everyone was in the throne room listening to Yuri's explanation about Christmas. Demiurge. I see, that Santa sounds like someone very powerful, he said. Ainz. What? Albedo. It could be a threat to all of Nazarick, she said seriously. Ainz. No, wait, she said, drawing the guard's attention. How do I explain this? Santa isn't real. Aura. Isn't it? Confused. Ainz. No, he's just a character for children, he said. Parents tell them that if they're naughty, Santa won't bring them a present and will only give them coal. Shultier. I think I understand. Is it like when you created the warrior moment? Ainz. Exact assent. Male. So shouldn't we tell Mr. Izuku that he's not real? Yuri. Well, the young man seemed very excited about that. I don't think I have the courage to tell him that. She would get sad. Everyone imagined Izuku with a sad face and crying. All. Whoever makes him cry must die. They thought angrily. Albedo. What should we do, Lord Ainz? He saw him. Ainz. I wouldn't want to shatter Izuku's fantasies, she thought, imagining a sad Izuku. Cocytus. What if we celebrate that, Christmas? He asked, and Ainz saw him. Ainz. That's not a bad idea. Okay, he rose from the throne. People of Nazarick, prepare everything necessary for this Christmas. All. And, Ainz. Pastonia saw the aforementioned. You still have that recipe book you bought, right? Pasto. Yes, Mr. Ainz, he nodded. Ainz. Okay. Lend it to the head chef so he can prepare the best Christmas dinner. If you need any ingredients, go with Sebas to buy them. He said, and Sebas nodded in agreement. Pasto. Understood. Wow. He bowed and left. Lupus Regina. So what exactly do we do? Confused. Yuri. From what the young man told me, they decorate the place with lights, put up a pine tree and decorate it with colored spheres and a star on top, he said, and then they put the presents under the tree and open them first thing on Christmas morning. Solution. I see. Curious. Yuri. He also said that gifts could be given to a specific person. Intoma. So, can we give each other gifts? Lupus Regina. Great, she said excitedly. CZ. What a curious holiday. So everyone got to work decorating, preparing the food and the gifts. Sebas. Everything seems to be going well, she said, watching the maids decorating. Pasto. Wow, the food too. I'm sure the young master will like it a lot. Wagging his tail. What about the pine tree? Sebas. Miss Aura went in search of one in the nearby forest. Pasto. I see, so I just need to prepare the gift for the little master. Wow. Sebas. Me too. Pasto. Will he give Tuer something as a gift? Sebas just stayed quiet and left. Fufufu. With the Pleiades. Solution. So, should we wear these costumes? He said, wearing a Santa suit just like the others. Intoma. They don't look so bad. I like the color red, he said, looking at his suit. Lupus Regina. Yes, I like them too. Narbarl. What happens next? He saw Yuri. Yuri. All that's left is to prepare the gifts. You can prepare some for whomever you like. She took out a pre-wrapped gift. I got this for the young man. Lupus Regina. Oh, and what is it? She said curiously, looking at the gift. Yuri. It's a figure of his favorite hero. I found out that he was missing this figure from his collection. Intoma. I see, then he'll like it a lot. Narbarl. I'd better go and prepare your gift, she said, turning to leave. Solution. Me too. And so they all went off to prepare the gifts. Christmas Eve had finally arrived. Izuku. Wow, she exclaimed upon seeing all the decorations. Large. Do you like it? She saw it. Izuku. Yes, it looks great. Mare smiled. They arrived at the hall where Izuku saw the giant pine tree with its decorations. Aura. Very nice, isn't it? Look for a suitable pine tree for today, she said, looking at the pine tree with its decorations. Izuku. The star is missing, he said upon seeing the top of the pine tree. Kokitis. We wanted you to wear it, he said, handing her the star. Shultir. Come on, he said, picking up Izuku and rubbing him until he was at the tip of his neck. Do the honors. Izuku carefully placed the star and everyone applauded. The maids brought the food and everyone started eating. They also started watching Christmas movies such as The Nightmare Before Christmas, A Christmas Carol, The Grinch and others. At midnight, everyone opened their presents. Albedo and Shultir exchanged gifts, which surprised many, as they knew that they sometimes didn't get along. Ainz, what did you think of the party, Izuku? He looked at his son. Izuki. It's great, I smile. Ainz. I'm glad. She saw everyone celebrating for their first Christmas, they really liked it. Albedo. Lord Ainz. She arrived. Here is your gift, she said, wrapped in a ribbon. Ainz. Ah. Thank you, Albedo. She looked at her with a drop of sweat on her brow. To be continued. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure to like and please hype this video. Now we will see you in the next video.